All right, Joe.
It's game day, baby. Can't hear you, Nick, if the music's loud. All right, baby, we're back in the booth. Me and Lucas. It is game day. And let Lucas just tell us the situation of what just happened.
So we expected to come in with a bye today. Did not happen as planned because Argonne, the team that you know all too well from round one last week, was supposed to play a team of GU. Did not end up playing. The team did not show up. We are already in round two against Argonne Esports.
I mean, I'm glad to be in round two, but I kind of wanted to at least like watch the game or something, get something on the other team and see if Argonne was going to pull it off. But I mean, I guess they deserve it. But I'll tell you what, Lucas, we're picking maps right now, and I know dang well Argonne does not want to see Marshall again on Ascent.
Well, but do they want to see him on Ascent? Because the game ended up being a lot closer than many thought it would be. Was a 13-10 at the end of the game. Marshall started off on fire,
11-1,
but did not end on top. They won the game, but maybe Argonne thinks they can do it this week.
I don't know, man. It was because Marshall started out that game 11-10, hot streak, pistol rounds, amazing. They didn't lose a pistol round till I think Maryland, the game they lost, and especially that clutch with Shoujo and Explicit. I think Explicit got that 4-piece with the Ghost to clutch it up. But that, like you said, I believe it was it the offense side we struggled on Argonne, where we just could not win a round and we almost ended up choking it.
Marshall had a problem last week, truly, of they could play one half very well, but as soon as the half switched, Marshall could not kick it back into gear. And it wasn't just one side. You had the round one where our offense was struggling. Then round two, on the same map on Ascent, it was our defense that struggled. There was no moment where Marshall could really kick it into full gear. By the end of the half, they were able to put it into gear, figure it out, and put some rounds together. But we need to see a coherent game for Marshall today because some of these teams are not going to let us slip up like that.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, Argonne put up a fight that last game. They could put up a fight this one. We need to be firing on all cylinders if we want to go to round three, which I would love to see us in round three.
I don't want to see Marshall in round three. I want to see Marshall qualify for the Columbus.
That's right.
That's what we are here to see today. We don't want to see one game. We don't want to see two. We want 5 games.
Book the ticket, baby. Book the ticket. I want to see us in Columbus. You guys want to see us in Columbus.
Absolutely.
But for sure we need to be playing. And I just got word of what map we're playing. It's Ascent, baby.
Absolutely.
It is Ascent. Argonne wants the smoke yet again.
Wow, that's a bold statement. But like I said, maybe Argonne really worked on Ascent throughout the week and were able to come up with a different game plan to show Marshall a different side of Argonne Esports. Now, don't take it granted. Marshall has not spent the week only on Ascent. Maybe Argonne has studied for this. They have been prepared for this to happen. What if Argonne is able to pull the upset? Do you think it's possible, Joel?
Sadly, it is. I mean, like, they literally came back on us. They were down 11-1 at the half. That is an insane deficit to even bring back to a 13-10. I mean, come on now. Give them some credit. I will give them some credit there. But, I mean, like you said, Ascent's probably the least that they've worked on this week because Marshall was so confident in Ascent that this is our map, this is where we're at, we are prepared for this map. They've been working on other maps, so that might come back to bite them in this tournament.
And just like you just said, Marshall has spent the week really preparing on different maps like Breeze. I mean, just expanding their repertoire because as of last week, the only 2 maps they were fully solidified on were Icebox and Ascent, and luckily they got to play them throughout most of the entire tournament and with a good showing on Breeze as well just this recent Wednesday. No one else has seen him on any other of the other 4 maps. Is this the week that – I mean, obviously Argonne's chosen Ascent, but if we can get past Argonne, is another team going to throw a curveball? They're going to have to play Bind. They're going to have to play Haven. Can Marshall win those maps as they've been practicing for the last week for it?
Now, this is probably the most prepared this Marshall team has been going into a tournament. They've been practicing both individually and as a team this whole week. They've literally just been grinding. So I think their confidence has to be pretty dang good this for this game.
And Joel, last week you placed in the 3 to 4 place in the first tournament you've ever played in as a team. That is extremely impressive for a team that's not even in the top 50. I know you have some words to say about that.
I do have some words to say about that. The disrespect ends today. Today is the day. Cause listen, I don't know who does these rankings, but in the top 50, they put teams that I'm not sure if this is completely a track that we played and beat in the top 50. Either it was that or people in the same tournament that placed behind us in the top 50. Where is Marshall? Why are we not in the top 50? I don't understand, but it ends today. We're qualifying. We're going to
A
Columbus.
good showing today, Joel, probably puts us up in that top 50. Today is the state. Last week was the statement that we are a team to be taken seriously. This week says we are here to win. We can do this. It was not a fluke run. It was not a
That's
Cinderella
right.
run.
That's right.
This week is a
Get them.
statement for Marshall.
That's right. Oh, dude, I'm just pumped. I'm ready for it to start now. I don't even want to sit here and do this pre-show. I want to get into it. I'm ready, man. I'm pumped. I woke up today, massive hurt on. I'm ready to roll. Dude, it's been raging since last weekend. I'm ready to go. But I'm telling you, dude, the disrespect stops today. I mean, we got a first round bye, which really we didn't. I mean, last week, I mean, we did good on our games Wednesday. We beat George Mason Academy, and then that past tournament we went 4-0. So until we lost to Maryland, but so they saw we were good enough to get a bye, and this week they're going to see that we're good enough to be competitors, to have Marshall's name thrown around with all the other big names out there.
I want to see a team that comes out and shows exactly what they performed in last week. I want to see Marshall come out swinging. I want to see some games that are at 13-5, 13-6. I want to see some dominant wins from Marshall this week.
And I think it's going to happen. Well, I hope it happens. What we've seen from Marshall, this team is really that either the first or second half they're lighting it up, and either the first or second half they're not.
Absolutely.
And that's really what they need to focus on is stop trying to play with our heartstrings, man. Can we just go in there and mop a team? Can we go in there and just win with some breathing room? You know, don't make this a close game. We especially that I keep going back to that Argonne 11-1. What are we doing, man? I mean, come on. You have that big of a lead. You can't let them just fly up to you and catch up to you. You can't just win by 3 points there. You got to win by at least 7 in that situation.
And I think that could come down to as well Marshall using their timeouts a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
strategically.
Yep.
Last week you would see other teams win 5 or 6 rounds in a row that they should not have. Marshall should have been calling timeouts after you lose 3 or 4 rounds at the least. Marshall needs to strategically control the pace of the game. This is like a boxing match. You want to control the ring.
Yep.
You want to be able to control the pace because as soon as you let the momentum swing to the other team, that's when you start losing rounds. You saw it last week, 11-1. There should be no reason a pistol round and you win the game off
Yep.
your next eco. You cannot let other teams control the pace after you form a lead. We had a lead in nearly every single game
Yep,
and
we did.
and almost lost it. You cannot allow other teams to control the game when you are the ones that set the momentum to start it.
And I mean, going back to that confidence too with the timeouts, we were in there, we felt the energy, and not once did that team feel nervous. Not once did that team feel like, especially when they were down. I believe at one point they were down 2-6 a couple maps, but they brought it back to a 7-5 half or 6-6 half. They never lost that confidence. The whole time they're sitting there completely comfortable, fist bumping. They're getting cheers. I mean, I was pumped in the booth, just sitting there with them, and I'm kind of upset that we're not there today. But I mean, this nice setup is awesome. We got good mic quality rolling.
Absolutely.
But they'll keep that confidence. But
I
like
can
you
feel
said,
the momentum from here.
The timeouts need to be used for sure.
But before we get into it, Joel, we've talked about the team. We've talked about how well they performed last week. Let's talk about some individuals on the Marshall roster.
Oh,
And
baby girl.
let's start with the fan favorite
The man.
Psycho.
That's right.
He's a freshman, I believe, here at Marshall. He is the new guy on the block, new kid on the block, and came in and put in an MVP-worthy performance last week.
Amen.
If there was anyone in the entire tournament that deserves an MVP for last week, it is Psycho. The impact he had, the frags. He dropped a 27 bomb on Sage, on a utility character. That is unheard of. But it goes beyond just dropping kills. The impact frags, always placing yourself in the right position. Analysts in every sport always say it is an innate ability to be able to position yourself to get kills. He was not a battle sage last week. Let's not get that twisted. He was just always in the right position. He was
Yes.
staying alive in rounds to provide support to his team. This was a man that as a freshman, seemed like a veteran in the sport.
You can say that again. I mean, we'll see if teams watch out for him now because they know he's going to be playing those off angles. Like, why is he there? Why is this dude mid when his whole team's over here? Like, he's playing to where teams just can't predict him. How long can he keep that up? Is it going to be this tournament they figure him out? Is it going to be next week? We don't know. But if anyone has faith in anybody on this team, it's probably going to be that Psycho's going to make the play. He's going to be that guy. And that's what's great about this Marshall team is it's not just him, though.
It's not.
You have the clutch kings over here, Explicits and Shoujo, that have been running. If it's them in the last 2 rounds or the last 2 people alive, they have a really good chance of winning that round, regardless if it's a 2v4, a 2v5, bombs down, bomb isn't. They have the best. Like, you see, like, they could still win this round. They have 2 classics. They could still win the round.
Multiple times last week. I know I and you both. It would be a 2-4, like you just said, with no hope left in the round for many people. Many people would just save, would take it on, but you would see Explicits and Shoujo take on the duels because they are confident in themselves, but they're also confident in their ability to trust the other. Those two are a tandem together, Joel.
Dude, it's such a duo. They go together like Blurred and 0 and 15. It's just the way they mesh.
It's just the way it happens.
I had to drop it once. I'm so sorry.
Well,
Tyler.
you brought him up, Joel. Let's talk about the controller on the team.
The boy.
The part-time IGL, Blurred himself. He has really come into the controller role this season.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, it's incredible what this guy did. Last season, he went from playing Sova and learning all these lineups and just stuffing them in his head to – I think that's what translated. He had to learn all of that Valorant, all the where these people are going to be, how they're going to be, and it easily translated from that into his smoke role to where he knows that he needs to be throwing this smoke here, this here. He's told me he's learned so many one-ways now with that Omen, as we saw on Ascent, and we're going to see on Ascent when it happens. I mean, the dude's just an offensive machine with the smokes. He might not get the kills. He might not be that star-studded player, but, I mean, that's hard to be when you got a stacked roster like Marshall.
Oh, absolutely, and he has to play the – when you look at basketball terms, just because you can't win with 5 LeBrons.
Nope.
Because you have to have a team that understands what to do.
Yeah. Oh, baby, looks like we're starting the game. First match of the day, we got Ascent. Oh, I'm so pumped, Lucas.
It's looking like we got the same lineups from last week, Joel. How do you feel about the lineup composition for Marshall? Do you think it's the right one?
Yeah, I don't think there's any holes there. I don't think there's anything that needs to be switched up. The only questionable thing that you would have is some people would say you're not running a duelist on here, but it works so well for him. And also, just Ascent, they have it locked down. The only question you'd have is probably like Icebox when they switch Shoujo onto Sova instead of Psycho. They like to keep him on Sage. But no, I think that they got the right here, and we're starting on attack.
Do you think we're going to see the Shoujo Odin come out this week, Joel?
It's going to happen.
But we questioned it last week. Both of us were a little skeptical of the idea because he is so impactful on the rifle on either the Vandal or the Phantom, but he pulled out that Odin and was able to pull out 3K after 3K.
Yeah, we were proven very wrong very quickly.
So it looks like we're going to do a little bit of an A main take, and Crip's going to throw a knife, landing close A main to clear. You got to make sure you can get in the one-ways from the other team.
Yep.
They're using blurred strategies against him.
Looks like we got Explicit one mid.
Now let's just take a moment, Joel. The impact that Explicits has on pistols cannot be understated.
Oh my gosh, I had a chance to play with him this weekend. The dude is just absolutely nuts with a Ghost. One-tap city.
I mean, he was. We talked about it. They won 10 straight pistols, I believe.
They did.
And most of this comes down to Explicits and Shoujo, but Explicits multiple 3Ks, and Crypt falls down early in the round.
KO diff right there. Shoujo seeing if we can clean up, but it looks like he's going to back off A site here. And there we go, the mid push.
I love this mid push, but it's only one in mid. They've already closed market door.
They know they can't do the same thing against Argon that they did last week. You got to constantly be switching it up, and that's exactly.
Looks like we're coming out. CT smoke is down. Blurred with a great entry frag
that's
into B site.
Dart shooters in the chat. There we go.
Dart shooters were not active. They had to be woken up.
And there we go. Looks like they're going to take full control of B site.
Blurred does not win his duel. No one is there to trade him. The bargain chip's not there.
There we go. There it is. Explicits finds the kill though.
This is what we're talking about. The Explicit.
Oh, there he goes again.
And Psycho picks up one 3-on-1. Bomb's going down now. 20 seconds left in the round.
Oh, it looks like Shoujo's going to get him here.
JoJo's alone, though. He has to pick him up, and he gets the headshot.
The fade diff,
You've seen too
baby.
much.
Headshot. Clean round. At first, it didn't look good with Encrypt going down A main, but they really rallied back and ended A. That was a good round from Marshall.
What a great round. There wasn't a whole lot of trades, but they were winning gunfights. Gunfights. That's where Valorant comes down. That is where Valorant impact is found in the gunfights.
That's right. And it looks like it's probably going to go 2-0 here as we got the bonus round coming in, or the buy-up round coming in for the boys.
I mean, I would assume Argon's not going to force up here. It's too early in the game to.
I wouldn't think they would try, and they should have enough respect for Marshall to not try that. Ooh, and we got an early Vandal. We got an early Vandal going.
Hey, I respect it. If Explicits is feeling himself, the confidence in Explicits is exactly when he's the most lethal.
And they're going to find 2 B main here with the KO knife. Dude, if anyone has that Vandal in his hands, I definitely want it to be Explicits. He can get out quick with that TP on Chamber.
Rocking the new black and gold Vandal, brand new collection.
Now, I believe that Argon is the team that we played in the tournament that gave up mid control almost every round on Ascent, and it came to bite him.
Oh, Encrypt, huge Spectre kill to start the round.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Marshall playing very slow today, Joe. Very methodical. Last week they were going. This week it's a very methodical approach from all of them. Explicits up through mid.
I don't know if they'll change their approach here, like they'll start to ease up more, or they'll start to put the gas on more. And once again, just no contest. And Encrypt's going to find another.
Encrypt gets 2. No one there to trade Explicits.
Huge kill by Argon there to take out the rifle.
Cypher had huge impact last week, looking to make it again this week for Argon themselves. Psycho getting the bomb down.
They cannot let him get that Vandal, though. Looks like they did.
Encrypt playing a little aggressive. Shojo getting an extra pick in B main.
Oh, he has a Guardian as well.
I love to see it. That's a confident aim.
we need the buy-ups here. That's great.
This is a 4-on-2 post plant. This is exactly where Marshall needs to saddle up.
One enemy.
Get in the trenches.
Great
Huge
play
kill
by Shojo with the suck.
Encrypt with a 3K in the eco round. You love to see it.
4 rifles up too, and 2 of them are, and one's a Guardian, one's a Vandal. That is absolutely huge going into a buy round for Argon.
That is big for the economy of Marshall. The most money you can put together is the best possible scenario. Marshall plays the round great. That's a must-win round. That's an expected win, but you have to keep those guns up. Marshall does just that, Joel.
And I'm not sure if they gave the rifle to Encrypt or if he bought up as well, but it looks like Explicit is either going to save for that op, but he's so dangerous with this deagle.
I think we're getting a market knife from Encrypt. We do. It just now lands. Doesn't see anybody. Once again, Joel, Argon not showing a whole lot of mid presence.
And there's Explicits, like I said, with that deagle, but they're going to get flashed out. Cat.
There's 3 in the cubby here.
Encrypt picks it up. Oh my gosh, huge kills are coming in.
Encrypt.
And they find another. It's a 4-on-1. Oh my gosh.
25 seconds into the round, Joel. Early in the round, it's a 4-on-1, and the round
they're going to find the trade. Blurred picks it up to make it 3-0, and it's probably going to be 4-0 going into this game. What a start for Marshall.
Marshall looking hot. Not many deaths from Marshall. Marshall keeping their guns up, keeping spirits up.
That's honestly, that's the best you can do right there. The trades were absolutely perfect by Marshall, and that's the big thing that they need to keep going. Is the same thing they did last week is the same thing they need to do this week. Play as a team.
And I need to see it continue, because last week you would see 2 rounds back to back. The first round they play as a team, keep 4 to 5 rifles up. In the next round they take one-on-one gunfights. Even in the first round today we saw it, but they won the gunfight.
Yep.
But you don't always.
That just shows you how confident Marshall is in their pistol rounds.
JoJo able to clear the close right and lane angles.
They're going to get tagged by that soap dart again.
The Chamber can't TP. He's stuck both.
Oh, but Encrypt misses the spray.
Chamber able to get 2 before he gets traded out.
It's a 4-on-3. They're going to get the res. Looks like on KO. They're shooting through smoke, though.
Oh, Omen picks up 2 on Marshall. Psycho with the trade. It's a 2v2 with a minute left in the round. Oh, pop flash.
You can't get behind logs. He's going to leave a 1-on-2.
Not there to get the trade.
And can he become the clutch king again?
But the bomb is down.
He knows where he's at.
Can he get the bomb, Joel? That's the question he has to ask right now.
Plenty of time on the clock. He can make a play here, or he can wait, but the knife's going to spot him out. He knows where he's at.
I have KO knife.
And it looks like he's going to get sight. He has the bomb now. He can do what he wants.
I think Explicit is trying to play off that. He thinks he's going to push. Smart play by Argon.
But now he's going to move back.
Teleport's ready.
Well, Argon expected, though.
I mean, he has time to make an A play if he wanted to. If he could get market and go A, that would be huge.
all comes
And
down
it
to
looks
right
like
there.
that's what he's doing. He's going to play
But
up
he
mid.
better be careful because KO probably is expecting this since he didn't jump peek CT again.
This is
30
a
seconds
mind
left.
game, Joel. This is who has the higher game sense, Explicits or Argon's KO.
Blood.
And
It's Explicits.
Explicits!
What
Everyone
a
sees that.
play by Explicits. That is game sense, Joel. That is bigger than just winning
Wow.
gunfights.
Chambers
Clutch
more than
round
just a nice
again,
suit.
like we said in the
Well done.
pre-show. If
Can
it's
someone
going to be
get this?
somebody, it's going to be Explicits or Shoujo on that clutch side.
In a 2v1 scenario, Explicits isolates the
That's a good
1v1s
spot.
and takes exactly what he wants, and that's a round win for Marshall. They are a 4-0, Joel.
Dude, clean and methodical right
Here.
there. I'm talking, you saw how clean those shots were. Both taps to the head, nothing crazy. He probably damaged him a few times on the jump peaks as well. And here we go, going into a 4-0.
Once again, the market knife coming through. They're working this mid. They know that's Argon's weakness. Chamber is mid, gets the TP out.
Chamber has an op too, and he's missing both shots.
But that's all right. No one falls for either team. Only 15 seconds in the round. You don't have to rush this early. Hopefully Marshall takes a second, breathes, and re-engages.
Surprised no one got taken down, either the Chamber losing his life or one of us with the op.
And
But,
Grip pop flash in a tree.
ooh, trip tree.
Oh, 2 picks for Argon. There are nobody to trade the Wonton Bomb, Joe.
And they know one's A main with that fade eye too.
Explicit's able to get one, bring this round back into the realm of possibility.
Explicits with 2.
huge 2K to even the
Oh
odds.
my gosh, that's huge. But the op is still online for Argon. You have to be wary of it, and you have to know that this Chamber is probably going back to B after having quietness on A and 2 picks on A.
They
There's
do
the
throw
Omen
smoke.
smoke on B main as well.
It's placed just right in B main. You're choked if you try to go through, and KO does have a flash to pop through it, and he has the knife for information. This could still be a B explosion right here.
However, they have time. They have 33 seconds, so they're just going to wait out the smoke and not let
30
Argon
seconds
know
left.
exactly what they're doing. And Explicits is up in the spawn.
Lurking through. They're not CT. They are
And he's
CT.
going to find one.
Explicits with the first 3 in the round.
And there's got to be one on A, and yep,
Last
there he
player
is.
standing.
Ooh.
Oh, huge.
Spike
It's
1v2,
Encrypt.
it's Encrypt. We've seen him win these before, but he's not
Cypher.
going to win this one.
That's first round on the board for Argon. You knew it was going to happen eventually. But, man, that's a winnable round for Marshall. But you just
Tough.
can't win all the gunfights. No one was there to get
Tough
the early
round.
trades.
But, I mean, and what happened there, Lucas? Why did we lose that round?
I think it's the early picks. I think going down 5, even though they were able to equal it with 2 picks from Explicits, going down 2 men early in the round it's a heartbreaker for your round.
Well, you know what I saw there? Not
trade.
playing together
They-
again.
they did
no
not play for
trades
trades.
again. No trades again.
And that's with the first 2 picks. It coincides perfectly, Joel.
Luckily, Explicits was able to step up there and get 2 picks of his own with Argon being very aggressive.
But it wasn't enough, and that was the problem.
Spike drop.
Here we go. We have Explicits is on his op. Oh,
And now-
you got to know that he's going to be mid. He's been opping
Where
mid.
are
Your chamber goes down. Now they can lurk through B main. And Crypt has to be careful of his flank, and he is now aware that trip is no longer up. I don't like this, Joel, that Marshall keeps going down early in the round. This is 2 rounds in a
But
row.
they have the res now. They just picked up the res. I think they're going to go for it.
I think they can.
Smoke bottom mid. Yep, there's the smoke, and they're going to try and res. I guarantee it.
You have to get that res. You have a lot of time left in the round.
Yep, here they
However,
go.
the KO could stop it if he wanted to.
Your
He
duty
does
is
not ult.
over.
Imagine the ult there to stop a res.
That would have been a very risky play though too. You don't want to give up that KO ult. It's super important for retakes.
But also keeping Explicits off the map is a huge advantage for the other team.
That is a very good point, especially with that op. And it's not just any op, it's that Chambers.
And the chamber op, probably the most broken gun in the game in terms of power.
Looks like they're
Oh,
gonna go
pop
for
flash
an
in the tree
A-push
once
here.
again. They have to be ready for the trades.
Oh,
Oh my, fade
great
KO
play.
together. But Psycho able to pick up the trade.
And so's Explicits.
What a take. 3-on-3 post plant. Bomb is going down.
Good play by Archon, greater play by Marshall.
What a sight take. Now you just have to win the post plant, Joe. All you have to do.
I win
Explicit
again.
gets the 1 in
Oh,
tree.
if Explicits could have got 2, that would have been huge. They know one is in that tree area. Of course, they're going to break door, but Tyler's going to throw that smoke.
One
Here we
enemy
go.
remaining.
One way. Shoujo. It's a
Oh,
2-on-1.
huge flash. He got both of them.
All you have to
But
do,
he didn't
Joe,
push through.
is play the trade here. Play
Exactly.
an angle
Play
together.
together. You know that's what they're saying in their comms right
And
now.
Blurt, huge kill, securing the round after losing round 5. Marshall back on the board.
And I got to give credit to Argon there. The past 2 rounds, you've noticed what they're doing, right? They're actually playing one
Can
mid.
someone get this?
They're making sure they have
Thank
mid presence.
you.
They're like, guys, this is the same thing that's happened in the last game. We're getting beat to hell. Letting them go up through mid, letting them just take so much control. They've got Explicits has already got 2 to 3 kills off of going on their CT to getting in their spawn. No one's watching it. They don't have a trip there
Getting
even.
CT, if you can get CT on Ascent for free, that's a huge information. That is huge map control that you can take advantage of. And Argon is just now in round 6 starting to figure this out.
Shadows traveling.
The
Here we
Shoujo,
go.
huge angle on
5
top
stack
A main.
A main.
I don't know if I fully like this. There's no presence anywhere on the map. The
my gosh.
Wonton Bomb able to get one and get out.
Luckily, they have people watching that flash, though, and they're a little smart.
Once again, Joel, I'm a broken record. Marshall down early in the first 20 seconds of the round. You have to think they have to start at least being in position to trade and equal the odds.
Or expect that they're going to be aggressive the first few seconds.
Psycho. Battle saging a little bit, A main. I like to
They're
see
still
it.
staying that A main, but now they got a little bit of a B split going.
They are
Watching
just
mid as well. It
playing
looks like
slow.
they're
What a
just
huge Sova drone for info, but that could take a few off of A. Maybe
Yep.
they think they're going B. Sova, recon dart. Still a 4-on-5. Marshall down a man this round.
yeah, they're definitely going to try to
They are
they're
banking.
just trying to get a pick, just trying to equal that playing field out. But I mean, honestly, this squad is so good with their aim that I don't think they're really worried if it's a 4v5.
Oh,
30
they've worked their
seconds
way
left.
back. A is going to be a 4-man take A. They're going to have to go
30
quick.
seconds.
Going out.
And it looks like we're
And
going to
the
fade
fade
all.
ult.
The fade ult could be the
Here
difference
comes the
maker
door,
on
and
this
here
round.
comes the wall as well. Double up on that. Great play, but there's going to be one behind.
There's one A main. They have to be wary of it. Blurred cannot be
Bomb goes
open
down.
to A main.
They still haven't taken care of that A main.
Now you have 3 different angles, 4 people watching. No,
That-
they might not be ready for encrypt. The dog does not see encrypt. This could be a free kill, but the pop flash
Oh,
is
and he
huge.
gets it.
Blurred able to pick up 2. Blurred picks up 3.
Oh my gosh, Blurt's going huge.
Blurred
I
picks up
can't
3. It's a
use
2v2 post plant.
Here.
Enemy spotted.
They know he's heaven. He tagged him.
Blurred not able to pick him up.
One
He
enemy
does.
remaining.
And there's the freaking trade, man.
And Psycho able
There
to
it
clutch the
is.
round 6-1. Marshall lead. Marshall rolling through T side.
Playing together once again, Lucas, covering all angles. That was another struggle that they had on a few, not very many nitpicks, I can say, but there were a few that the Marshall team struggled with last week, and that was holding angles. They were not in the right positions. They were getting retaken a lot, especially on a scrimmage they had this past week on Haven. They were on there, and they would take site control. They would get bombed down. 5 people on site. They would get retaken because they just weren't in positions, and that is exactly what we saw here, is that they cleaned that up.
I mean, especially on a 2v2, when the odds are even, you have to be ready to trade. You have to be in angles to play off your teammate.
You got
Just-
2 men here from Argon.
Oh, and Encrypt going in, but the Fade utility tells them that they are no longer close mid. They went back market. Sage slows the Cat to make sure they don't peek off Cat.
I have
Blurred.
the spike.
What is Blurred doing in the B main smoke, Joel?
My man's hiding out.
He's trying to rat. He
But-
wants them.
I will say credit to Argon's chamber. The dude is
There.
going big with the op right now.
He's using that op to full effect, and it's getting him in position to win rounds. They haven't been able to close many. That could change at any minute.
And here we go. We're going to see a
Oh.
B main take.
Psycho! Early entry.
I think one was one
Omen
boathouse.
killed.
Reloading.
Psycho goes, or Shoujo goes down. We have a 4v3 post plant. This should be a
Oh, and
big
here
win.
comes the wall as well from Psycho.
I mean, you wall off lane. You either have to break the wall or you have to funnel through stairs, Joel. That's a huge
3 on site, 1 B
Promise.
main.
encrypt. It should be good for at least 1 here. He is
You
1
want a
vote.
piece of this?
See if he can grab
And
2.
he's not
and he
able.
can't. That
He
op, man.
tags up the chamber.
Argon's chamber doing in work.
They're not playing. They're not playing off each other right now. Psycho just playing under his wall. The wall did not cover lane like he wanted it to. And Explicits could fall here if he just shoulder peeks lane. I don't know if I agree with that. 3v2 though, post play. They have to get out.
Bomb's about to go. They're just going to play exits on him.
They have to get out. These rifles need to stand.
Yep.
The Wonton Bomb knows he can't win the round, but he can take some Marshall men down with him.
They don't want to lose that op, though, either.
Explicits falls.
They know it. They're going to keep the op. They don't want to risk that op, especially when they
Can't.
only have 2 rifles up. You're down 7-1. Your econ's not looking good. And just because you got the I mean, really, that doesn't hurt Marshall's economy, though. You're up 7-1. You've won all these rounds. You just won that round. You've kept your rifles up. It's not been like a 2 people alive every round. You're keeping most of every single one of your rifles up. So you know their econ's flourishing right now.
You know it has to be, but Psycho's economy is not as high as you'd think it'd be. It's only 1,400. It
little
crypt
help?
1,600. 1 round. Now, Argon has been able to take a few with him every round, and that makes it to where one round from Argon could lead to a ripple effect.
However, we do have 2 huge ults online.
You know he's there. Jojo
Great
expected
swing.
the double stack, able to get one without getting traded. Now Marshall, early in the round, up a man, Joe. This is huge.
And that's exactly what we said earlier. Is they need to expect that first few seconds aggression, and they did, and it worked out for them perfectly.
This is the moment. This mid play, we haven't really seen it since the pistol round, Joel.
And there it is. They walled off mid, so they can't come mark it.
And now you explode B. A CT smoke is in. All you have to worry about is the site players. They clear logs. They're clearing every angle. The B main players have to work out. And now it comes down to a site hold from Argon. And they're not even on site. They gave up B for free.
They're just going to play retake, which I think you have to almost try to do now because it's 7-1. Oh, great
Sova
picks by
and
Argon.
Chamber. Now the tides have turned.
But the ult comes in for Marshall with the KO.
But a fade ult could lead to a huge retake after the KO ult ends. It's not going to last the whole bomb counter.
They have Sova ult, and they can combine Omen ult with this as well.
This could be huge. If Argon wants to make the play is there. Recon's inbound.
Face your
Yep, here comes the fade
there's
ult.
the fade ult. Goes down to Shoujo with a 2.
gets 2!
What a huge pick from Sojo.
Putting
it in Marshall's favor. Encrypt. Sojo with the 3K wins the round. What a huge round. What a great post-plant play from Marshall. Only losing 1 in the post-plant.
Wow. Shoujo goes big. That's a Showtime. That's Showtime Sojo right there for you. Here we are at halftime.
Thank you.
Well, actually, no, not halftime. I was. I don't know what I was watching there.
It is not a 9-round half.
Yeah, my bad. 8-1. But, I mean, honestly, Argon's struggling for air. They wish it was halftime. They need a breather. And honestly, you know what I just realized? Argon hasn't taken a timeout.
They haven't. They've just let Marshall steamroll. Maybe. Hey, Joel, I think it comes down to the round they won, about round 5 or 6. Maybe Argon thought that was going to be their turning point. If they lost that round, a timeout could have happened. But maybe Argon thought, we won the round. Maybe this is our momentum shift, and then it just was not. And now it's almost too late in the half to call it.
Yeah, only 3 rounds left in the half. Oh, and the trade's going to come in, but the Sova's good for 2. Encrypt seeing what he can do. He's just going to have to back off mid after that. It's a 3v3. They know where he's at. He's definitely just going to have to play. Ooh, hopefully no one's cat. Good thing there wasn't anybody cat.
If there was, Encrypt would go down, but he lucks out. They don't play a lot of mid cat. Maybe, and that's something Encrypt may know.
Once again, it's the mid control. They're just letting up mid, but they've shown presence. They've definitely shown presence now, and it's helped, but Marshall's just powering through it.
I would like to see Blurred use that Omen ult for information. This is a round, especially with only 3 Argon players up. If you get 1 or 2 information on where they are, that tells you exactly where to go in the next 30 seconds. Neither team is using that Omen ult.
Here we go. Blinds coming in. They're just Argon's going to use their Omen ult.
30 seconds left.
But Blurred keeps his up. You have a KO Molly holding him back tree as well as a smoke. This is the moment. This is the half right here, Joe. If you win this, you most likely win the next round or 2.
Yep.
Oh, fade ult comes through.
That might be early, but
Jojo goes down there. Sova picks up 4 in the round, and it's able to win the round 8-2. Argon has not given this game up.
No, they have not. 8-2. Hopefully, Marshall can pull off the next 2. You don't want to see a 9-3 curse coming here. You don't want to knock on some wood there. I don't want to see it happen.
Marshall's economy, if they lose this round, the economy is not there for a last round bye. You don't want to let Argon sneak out of this half, Joel, with 4 rounds.
No, you definitely don't. Like we said before, they were up 11-1 that half. This one team's a second half team. Whether it had been Marshall stumbling over their own feet or Argon pushing them. One of these teams is going to blow up second half. And if it's Marshall, we could see a very, very quick game.
But like I said, you cannot let, with how well you've played in the first 9 to 10 rounds of this game, you cannot let this half seem close. You can't give hope to Argon. Momentum is huge in the game of Valorant. I know you can agree. Players at home can agree. Momentum is everything.
That's why I'm surprised that Argon, even though they won that last round, it still wasn't exact. I mean, it was still, they only kept 2 rifles up. It still wasn't a close round. They got Marshall got bomb on site. I'm surprised they just haven't been calling any timeouts to reassess.
I will say, they were able to get that fade ult out of Shoujo, and the fade ult was basically useless for Marshall that round.
Questionable fade ult, especially It's really bad timing because the Omen blind came through as they used it. We got 3 going up cat
You
and
got the
2 A
knife
main.
going up cat. You see 2 cat. Both initiators are cat. One-way inbound. They push through it. This is going to be huge. Marshall needs to be able to get the trades.
Tree.
You have to be able to get these early trades.
Oh my gosh! Do you see? Is Psycho gonna sit here the whole round?
Psycho hiding behind his wall. He will not be seen from people coming from Garden. He will only be seen from Cat. This could be huge. Psycho, once again, Joel.
But now they're both tagged. They know they're both in there.
This is true, but maybe they think he's close. And Explicit's just making noise so they do not swing Psycho. This is a team play, but that Fade Dog gets the information. Psycho!
Oh, Psycho blinded kill!
That's huge. Get
Psycho and Explicit's going huge in tree right now.
What a
4v2.
great play off of each other, holding a crossfire.
One
Psycho!
The trade comes through with Psycho with 3.
Huge
And
and Marshall.
Flirt caps it off for a 9-2 game.
What a great
Woo!
crossfire held by Psycho.
Last round
And
in the
Explicit's
half.
there. Wow.
What a stand. Oh my gosh.
That is exactly what you
Huge.
want to see. That is what Marshall is capable of when they play as a team.
The flick over to the chamber on Cat by Psycho was a thing of beauty.
But let's not take it. Let's take a moment, Joe. It was all started by a blinded Psycho.
Oh my
What
gosh.
an entry frag that led to greatness as that round ended.
It definitely did not look good. That dog coming in, giving up Psycho's position. They know he's hiding behind the wall. I'm surprised he peeked out there.
I am too.
My man said, screw your blind, I'm going for you anyway. And we're going fast B-push here.
Oh, what a headshot.
down.
And
from
Crip
the
gets the
one-time
trade out
bomb.
here, but we're going to get a Omen blind in. And Crip for another.
And Crypt wants more. He wants blood.
And
the
the
res. It's last round of the half. You have to get that res off. It's a 5v4 now. But the tether comes in. Sova not able to get traded. Picks up
Trading
2.
blows.
You can't let him take multiple with you.
It's a 3v3, and
You know-
Crypt is stuck lane. Bomb is outside of main.
This is not looking good for Marshall. You're going to have to be able to just win these gunfights.
Well,
Sight's not clear either,
I'll tell
Joel.
you, if what I'm doing here is I'm going A. You
But-
have Omen alt. You can
But
alt
the
and get
bomb,
bomb.
the bomb's not. That's true. That has never been taken out of the game yet. Explicits could come huge here. It does. Early frag.
You know, the last 2 have to be CT.
They have to be either CT, maybe one stay to A in case they rotate, but the bomb is still down, and Crypt not able to bring it to
Nobody's
sight with him.
grabbed it yet. Looks like they're going A. Yep, they're going to do the Omen alt.
And this is the moment. 2v2, Explicits and Blurred.
And he got bomb. There
What
it is,
a-
boys.
That's-
this is
Sight's
a
going down
smart play.
2v2. Explicit's playing super aggressive. They had to hurt him walk there.
But he has the TP. As long as he can, if he can get one in TP, it's huge. If he doesn't, he just has to get out with his life.
Yep.
And by the time they get here, you're gonna waste 10 to 45 seconds, Joel. This could be a big round to end the half on 10-2. But
One
you just have to hit the
enemy.
shot
Oh
through
my
the wall.
gosh. What a wall bang from Explicits.
And the one-way comes tree. The door is still there too. You're gonna know if they're there.
And there it is.
Explicits with the 3K to end the half. 2v2 post plan. That's what I love to see.
Switching sides.
Explicits just a little bit happy with his chamber share. What a good
10 to
half.
2 half.
That works.
And once again, man, Argon says no timeout. Not
That's
one
not
in the
really-
first half. You go down 10 to 2. You got to think, why did we not call timeout? Why did we not try and stop momentum? It's the same thing with Marshall. How Marshall has such confidence, right? Marshall knows that they don't necessarily need to take a timeout, but they still do. Not necessarily for them to reset, but for the other team to get to ice them a little bit. And there's the frog spray from Encrypt. He knows I love it. He put it
He
on
knows.
just for me.
He knows what one of us like to see. It's that frog. It's that poly frog collection. But here it is, the one way, the KO Molly getting a little bit of A main control early in the round from KO and Omen.
We saw this. We saw this same play. They're set up exactly the same way they were last tournament. Is they would push this early with the one-way, and they'd have Psycho here on Cat with a wall, and then they'd have Sojo on B, and Explicit's holding it down.
Explicits with the early pick. Psycho gets one on his wall and able to get out with his life.
And KO gonna find one though.
Finds Encrypt. Blurred, the only last man standing on A right now. No one is there to help. But Argon not going to take advantage of that fact. They don't know it. Blurred just trying to get information and get out.
You know that Argon's got to be wary here. They know how good Marshall is on these pistol rounds,
Marshall always.
and they know it's pretty much over if they lose this pistol round.
Psycho has rotated to heaven. Blurred picks up the cat. Honestly, B site, Argon doesn't quite know this, but the B site is the way to go. No one's on site. You only have
And there
one
it
holding
is.
CT. They do know it, though. They know close sight's clear.
30
Split
seconds
screen
Argon,
out. Shojo wasting no time getting the eye down, trying to get
What
someone
an
through
eye!
that door, and he gets it.
what great util usage
It's going to
from
be a
Sojo.
4v2 retake for Marshall.
At this point, you let him plant, right? You have to just play retake.
Yep. And then you just trade out and you win the round.
As long as you trade, as long as you play as a
Spike
team here,
planted.
it doesn't
One
matter.
enemy
Explicit said, I'm doing it
remaining.
by
Explicit
myself
says I want all of them, baby. Give me all the eco frags.
early
Wow.
in the half.
They check your life.
And you have
11-2.
Marshall 11-2. The game's not over yet, Joel, but they start the second half and should
Save the
be
day.
up 12-2 in their
Oh
bonus.
my goodness. Well, you know that Argon has to buy up.
Even with numbers,
I mean,
anything
you would
can still
think.
So it
see,
might not be as close, clear, and cut as we wanted.
But is that as obvious as you think it is, Joel?
That's
You
a
either
good
have to
spot.
decide right now, do you want a half buy against Marshall's bonus, or do you want to just take it on the chin, try to win an eco if you don't 12-2, but go on a full buy and go on a
All
10-round
set.
spree?
Here.
You got to buy up here, man.
I think that's the clear-cut option, but there are definitely other options available for Argon to think about.
Well, here we go.
Psycho.
11-2.
With the
Will he
wall,
wall it immediately?
he doesn't. He's waiting for any kind of information mid.
Shadows traveling.
I like this.
Playing on the wall again.
See, but Psycho, so unpredictable on this cat wall, Joe. He sometimes doesn't play on it. Explicit's able to get one and get out with his life.
Once again, run with the Vandal. They had the Fade Eye up. They know they were out.
Shojo doesn't able to pick up the logs.
But he
Fade
gets
gets on
the
site for
information.
free.
He knows where they are.
This is going to be another 4-on-4 retake from Marshall. Marshall's retakes last week were huge on Ascent.
Spike planted.
Many of their defensive rounds came on the retake.
But it's absolutely.
Blurred, not expecting a stinger to be sitting close market. The
But-
chamber.
But this is absolutely huge right now because Explicit still has that Vandal up.
Now, wait a second. If the chamber TP, Psycho's entire flank goes down the drain, but the chamber's just going to stay market. Psycho
Last
not able to
player
take one with him.
standing.
It's a 1.
V3, does he grab the Vandal and run? No, he just tries to get it, and it's going to be up
does get one.
11-3. 2 rifles stay up for the side.
My power does
Argon.
not.
Now that is not the
Ask
round you
for
want to see
aid,
from
and
Marshall, but
you
the
shall
retake just
receive.
does not happen the way they want it to. You're up 11-3. A lot of wiggle room, but you cannot take your foot off the gas, Joel.
Now, the only thing I wish we could see, we're on coach's side, so we can't see the full team. I just want to know if they picked up Explicit's Vandal or not. That's absolutely huge in this
I
situation.
think I would assume they did. Explicits did die on site or right outside of site. It was available for the taking. Now,
Yeah, but Argon's
Marshall,
Argon's Argon,
Marshall
man.
for the first time this week on a save.
Yep.
So let's see what they can do. Explicits 4 headhunter shots. That could be
I was
4
gonna say,
deaths, but it's
ooh,
not. The wonton bomb
bad
takes down
timing.
Explicits.
They were going to go up B main and push aggressive, but they didn't expect that chamber to be hiding back there, so he goes to pick up his TPs and just gets
Yeah.
washed in the
But
back.
Shojo
Not expecting 3 there in B main.
evens the odds, but he's trapped in
Oh.
B
Where
main.
are
He
you?
could use some help from a teammate, but is he going to get close enough?
Oh, he
Psycho.
dinked him. He dinked him.
Psycho doesn't get there fast enough, though, for a trade.
Psycho knows that Fade's hit 79. See
This
what we
is
do
the
here.
moment. This is when Psycho could come up huge. His impact this game has not been as profound. Still there. Not as flashy as it was last week, but he's still
mean, it's
an
hard to-
impact player.
It's hard to get in flashy plays when you're curb stomping team pretty bad.
But the curve stomp's not complete yet, Joel.
Yep. They definitely need to just close her out here. Get a nice little break.
Encrypt holding down this A site with the classic, trying to get a little bit closer to have a little bit of impact frags. The knife comes through. KO on KO action, but Marshall's KO falls.
Argon
30
is just
seconds
being.
left.
I'm surprised. You know, most teams just be like, "Listen, we got the buy up. They're all on
Spike
classics.
planted.
We're running it down." But
Marshall.
Argon's respecting it
Last player standing.
But you have, when you're down 11-3, the respect has to be the
Enemy
Psycho picks up
because they know
1.
how good they are with the pistols.
Psycho gets 2.
That's big.
That is huge for the Marshall economy staying alive and taking the Argon economy down. They had to buy that round. They're going to have to buy again this round.
No charges left.
Wow. The buy for Argon might not be as strong as a team that just won 2 rounds in a row should be. This could be Marshall's moment to take the game by its horns and win the game, Joel.
Now, this isn't the start to the second half that I know us, the boys, and the viewers wanted. But hopefully they can just close it out here with this bye round, because if they win this, it's 12-4, and then obviously the econ is probably going to be broken on the side of Argon. and they should be able to win, but Explicit's going to get caught mid. They know one's tiles. He gets wall banged up a little bit. Psycho on his wall again.
Once again, but still unpredictable. He's playing the right side of the wall. He played the left side last round.
Well, you got to think too that you got to be, in my opinion, you're not going to think this. No way the Sage is still on the wall for a third round in a row.
That's like, you never know. It's like you have to clear both sides of the wall. You're gonna have to clear that cubby. Psycho makes it to where he is unpredictable at all times on this mid wall, and that is where his true impact comes in. You have a team that fears Cat because you never know where this Sage will be lurking, if he's even there. Sometimes he rotates heaven. He's not even there, but a team has to respect his presence. You have the one-way coming in from Blurred. Psycho playing off of it. You have the Omen, no-name main now, but not the rest of the team.
Argon playing very, very slow-paced, laid back.
I'm expecting.
Trying to grab a pick.
I expect either a fade or KO ult this round from Argon.
Now the question is, will they just explode onto a site, or will they look for a
Oh,
pick?
Explicit.
Explicit finds one mid.
No one to trade Explicits. He's able to
30
get a
seconds
pick
left.
for free. Buy one, get one.
And no TP either. He just walks straight back.
He doesn't. He just gets out with his life for free. They don't contest a trade. That is huge. A fade on a KO goes in. They're able to get through Market Blur, not getting the pick. They have 12 seconds to get the bomb
Shoujo
down.
just hammering
10
down with
seconds
the
left.
Odin.
This is a late Odin. We haven't seen the Odin all game, really.
Well, you know you want to use it more for defensive sided because you can
Spike
use that wall
planted.
bang on B main.
That's a true statement right there. Psycho gonna peek.
And you know he's about to use it right here too.
The fade dog clearing tree. You have 3 known on site. But 2 Marshall players
Last player
fall.
standing.
A third one, and there's the round 11-5. Argon making a stand.
Absolute. This
If you are
Sova
not doing
on
well,
the side of
keep
Argon.
trying. We must
The
keep
past
up
8
appearances.
rounds has gone big for Argon. Getting 3 pieces, doubles, just handing them out like he's on the Oprah Winfrey show. You get one, you get one. I mean, if Marshall collapses on a
Here.
round, that Sova has been at the center of it.
He has.
He's gotten a double. No one's been able to trade him out. He's getting at least a 2-piece every time. Let's see if we can do it. Marshall on another save. However, you're going to see Explicits come out with the op.
Explicits has shown last week, Joel, that this chamber op is game-changing. Oh, that recon dart's not going to see Explicits. He has great positioning. If someone likes to peek Cat, you have Tile smoked off to hopefully keep him at bay. If Explicits gets one and TP's here, gets the chamber op staying up, that is huge.
Absolutely. I just spilled a little bit of water on myself.
Joel is excited to my left.
I'm a mess right now in this game. Here we go. I wish we could see where exactly Argon is.
Argon just trying to be methodical. They're not pushing it. They're not letting their emotions
They have
take it
to
high.
respect the op game from last week whenever Explicits just made an absolute show out of them.
Face
I mean,
your
Explicits last week.
fears.
Fade all coming on B main. Looks like they're going to be pushing hard.
Oh, huge. Shoujo
Huge
picks
kill
up
with
one.
Shoujo. Can he get
Diamond
2? He
down
does. He
B.
gets 3 actually.
He has 3 this round, gets the opening 3, picks Shoujo,
Bring them down.
trying to take this game in his own hands.
Bring them down.
Looks like they're going to be
Oh,
carried back.
but Argon not ready to give the round up yet.
Big
Encrypt
responses.
holding close
You still got to
CT.
think they don't have Marshall doesn't have the guns for this.
One
And
enemy
Encrypt
remaining.
doesn't get it, but Psycho
Last player
with a
standing.
trade.
1v1.
Encrypt.
Encrypt not looking good. 60 HP and a ghost and a dream.
Oh, but Encrypt, he knows he has to
13
come out.
seconds and he gets it.
Encrypt.
Huge. Thrifty for Marshall to make it 12-5. This is what we needed. This is what this team needed. And it's
Match
going to be a
point.
buy-on-buy round here to end out the game possibly.
Can I make a statement, Joel?
I would love
I
to hear
think
it.
Argon almost respects Marshall too much. You know Marshall's on pistols, and while they're hitting shots
Yep.
this game, as long as you believe in your own team that you can hit shots, there is no reason to play that slow against Marshall on a save right there. There is absolutely
Nope.
no world where that's a smart play. You just have to play as a team, get early trades. A classic cannot take many with him.
Now, I don't know. Oh, we might get a pick here from Explicits.
Listen,
I don't know too much about Argon. I don't know if they're a new team, if they've been around for a while, but it seems to me they're doing what this Marshall team did last season. And that was they just completely blank out on
You want to play?
what are we doing?
Let's
They
play.
have pistols. We can just push them in.
it's almost,
and-
you overthink
Yeah,
a situation.
You're overthinking. Like, he had 60 HP and a dream there. All that I had to do was swing him 2, tap him in the chest, and you win the round.
You overthink situations because you are thinking the other team is trying to make up this completely amazing play when in reality, if you just banked on your own strategies, you would be able to roll an eco, and that's exactly what happened last round.
Yeah, they were definitely playing down in that round.
And you cannot do that, especially a team you're losing at the time 11-5 against. Right now, 12-5. Encrypt able to get the knife off. Oh, but the Sova ult not able to get Encrypt. Not even any damage on him. The Sova ult completely wasted. But Argon up a man. They're probably going to be planting momentarily. JoJo not able to pick up anything with the Odin. Oh,
Safety Odin's hell here.
The tether picks up Shoujo and Explicits. Oh, this could be a huge retake for Marshall. They're able to get some early picks, but they're falling one by one.
5-2. Flawless. Comes in for Argon.
Marshall, it is a broken record, Joel. They didn't play as a team. There were no trades by the Marshall roster right there.
But I want to say I want to give credit to Argon here, but there really wasn't any. There was maybe one flank. But you know where the rest of them were. They all came through main. There was no reason for you to be splitting angles. You needed to just play and trade out. You have rifles. Explicit's I'm pretty sure he had the Ion op out. I just don't understand why you're not
and you
trying
have
to trade here.
two heaven that round. As soon as Explicit falls heaven, there has to be a trade, especially when you're already down a man. You cannot lose more without making them pay.
And it's looking to
Explicits though, working his way up mid, stinger in hand.
Here we go. This is what Marshall needs to do.
Two down mid. This could be huge. Chamber falls early. The Wonton bomb goes down. That's a Vandal in the hands of Blurred.
And he's going to give it to Explicits.
Absolutely.
Get this thing out of my hand is what Blurred is saying right now. Give it to the GOAT. Let him work his magic.
Psycho does have a res if they need to use it this round. They're already up, but the bomb is planted. They're going to have to do a 5-on-4 retake.
With Frenzies and one Vandal online.
You have a Vandal, a Stinger.
Now you also have
two pistols.
You have a KO ult as well, but I think you save that.
I don't think it's used this round. You either take guns or just win this round cleanly. Save that KO ult for a round with guns. But Explicit said, I'm not going to a next round.
3v2.
With a trade.
It could be right here. They know where he's at. They know he's
big trades in Marshall.
And that's ball game, folks.
Big win for Marshall in the first round of the day. That's what you like to see. Huge game. Major respect to Argon for fighting once again that second half.
Second half looked good for Argon. Really did.
But Marshall does not allow that momentum shift to happen like they did last week. Marshall able to close it out. I said I wanted a decisive win, and what did I get, Joel? A decisive win for Marshall's Valorant team. This is the team that I wanted to see. Very minor mistakes in this game, but they played as a team. They traded all game long. That's the team I wanted to see.
It's about time we finally get a game where it's a big margin of victory. 13-6, 7 rounds. Like I said, that's what I wanted to see. I said 7 or more rounds. Please stop playing with our heartstrings. You go up 11. Was it 11? No. 10-2. 10-2 this game. You got to close it out. Stop playing with us. Stop making us cry over here. I'm about to die watching this game. I'm sweating.
I mean, Marshall just truly able to capitalize on all of Argon's mistakes. It seems like Argon made some of the same mistakes as they did last week. You saw early in the half, they made the exact mistake they made. They left mid wide open for the first 5 rounds of this game, and Marshall able to go 5-0 because they did exactly what they did last week. They understood the weakness, and then by the time Argon was able to shift a few people to mid, Marshall was already done with the strategy. They had moved on from mid, but the thought that Marshall was going to put 5-man mid, 4-man mid, and take the B site was enough for Argon to be flustered for the entirety of their T side.
That's exactly. I mean, you honestly very well said that. But what happened last round is what is really they started like, guys, we're still doing the same thing on defense. Switch it up. You had 2 go mid to B main with a Stinger and a Frenzy to find one there. Like, that's the kind of like, no one's going to think that. No one's going to think they're going to do that.
Marshall just made huge plays, explicits with some huge flanks early in the first half that Argon just did not seem to be ready for. You have a character that is built on flanking with his TPs, with his trip, and they were not ready for explicits at all. And by the time they were ready for them, the rest of the roster, it's a 5-man team. By the time you figured out one of them, the other 4 said, we're here too. We're here to win rounds too.
And, I mean, that's what did. And once again, they're playing. They're on site. Argonne is. They've planted bomb. They're thinking we got this. They have frenzies. They have one vandal, but we're good. Once again, Explicits comes through with the flank, comes through with the unexpectancy, and just throws them off, and that's how they win the round again. I mean, they sandwiched them. It was great play by Marshall all around, and I really want to see it in the next game. We're already into round 3, Lucas.
Now let's talk about round 3. We already know the opponent. It is UVA Platinum's University of Virginia's Platinum roster.
Virginia.
And do you know what map they just beat Arcadia Valorant on? Ascent.
What was the score? Let me hear it.
I don't have the score. Face it, does not report scores. But you know what that tells me? These is going to be 2 teams that probably want to play Ascent. I assume we're going to get Ascent in this 3rd round by 2 teams that want to play Ascent. Who can be the better team? That's the question we have going into this next round. Who is the better Ascent team?
And who is the better Virginia? West Virginia or regular Virginia?
Starting a little bit of a Valorant rivalry right here today. I would assume the Platinum roster is their varsity roster. This is not going to be an academy team.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have 2 varsity rosters going head-to-head, trying to make their way to Columbus just here in a little while.
I mean, what? We're 2 rounds off, right? This one? No. I don't know how many. You can
I'll check the bracket.
But, I mean, already round 3, it's only 1:18. Last time I think we were halfway through game 2 at 1:18 p.m. I don't think we were at the start of game 3.
4 rounds left. 4 rounds.
4 rounds left. So they need to win 3 more to qualify, I believe.
Absolutely.
Correct?
3 more. Marshall's capable. We saw him win 5 games just last week, and luckily this week they got a bye. All they have to do is win 5 this week, Joel.
I mean, there are 2 down. First one, they got a bye. Second one, well, once again, if you're just joining us, 13-6, very big margin of victory. Let's see if they can do it again going against Virginia Platinum.
I mean, it's a decisive win. It's a team that they played last week. It's the same map they beat them on last week. You got to think Argonne was ready for it. That had to be a bigger challenge than it was last week. And Marshall wins even more decisively than it did last week and played a cohesive game, just like we talked about in the pregame show. They played a cohesive game. They lost the second pistol round, but won the bonus, won their own eco in the second half. Marshall was prepared and did not let up. Maybe last week it was a little bit of maybe an ego problem. Maybe they were up 11-1 and thought, oh, we have this game in the bag. That's not what happened this week. We saw a team that was prepared straight from the get-go, that was ready, foot on the gas. They were going 90 miles an hour in the first half and kept it going 100 miles an hour in the second half.
Guys, we can't let up.
Absolutely.
You know they had to be absolutely tired of not losing, but winning those games so close when they know we could beat these guys by 40. What are we doing out here, you know? Why are we letting them catch back up to us? And that's what they did. They said, foot on the gas. We're not letting up. We're trying different things still. We're still going to try and outplay them rather than out-aim them. We're just going to see what we can do.
And as you see this Marshall team every single week, last week, like we've talked about, that was their first full experience as a team. It's the first time they ever played in person with each other. That was a team that we didn't know what to expect. Was it going to be a first-round exit with just trying to get some experience for the team? Last week, that's not what we got last week. We got a team last week that was fully ready for the potential problems that could arise in an early-on team. They were able to actually come together as a unit, win 5 straight games, and almost secure a spot to Columbus in their first ever outing together in the Red Bull Campus Clutch Tournament. And this week is their chance to actually solidify the roster.
Man, I'm pumped to see next game. I'm ready for it. I think it's the case of Argonne. It's hard to beat a good team twice, you know, and they did a good effort the first game, but just as Argonne can expect what Marshall's going to do, Marshall can expect what Argonne was going to do and played them perfectly, played them better than they did last game, and it showed in this matchup here. And this is a team we're not going to see here in UVA Platinum. They could be completely different. They could have a completely different play style. Marshall needs to realize this going into it. This might be the same map if we play Ascent. I have not gotten confirmation yet. If they play Ascent again, they got to have that in the back of their mind. This isn't the same team. They're going to try different things, and they might expect some of the stuff we do too.
I mean, it's going to be 2 teams that fully understand how to win on Ascent. Ascent's a very popular map pick by different teams, but Marshall, truly believes they have one of the best ascents in Collegiate Valiant. You have to believe that. This is a map that they do not lose on often. They lost last week once to Maryland, but they won it 4 times last week, or 3 times last week, sorry. It's a map that they are extremely confident on, and they have to continue to be confident on, especially as they walk into an unknown. Argonne was not an unknown as a team. They played them last week. They got a glimpse of what Argonne can do good and what they can do bad. They played a full 24 rounds against them. They know what they were going to do. UVA Platinum, they've never heard. They've never seen these players play before.
Yep.
They don't know what to expect. They have to go in ready to adapt. They're not going to play exactly like Argonne. Maybe UVA focuses on that mid. They're going to have to be able to adjust to either site, and we're going to see if Marshall's going to be able to do that.
Now, I know that Marshall is their preferred map is Ascent. They love to play Ascent. They're good on Ascent. But seeing UVA Platinum, a team you've never played against, a team that I'm going to assume is pretty dang good. They got here, and they're probably on the other side of the bracket last week, so we didn't get to see them. But do you throw them a curveball here and you ban Ascent and try and hit Icebox?
Now, I think that comes down to what are they ready for? How many maps does Marshall feel comfortable on? A team that can play any of the 7 maps can play that game. But does Marshall have that confidence to ban their own best map in preparation for saying that maybe Virginia's better than us on Ascent? Do we take that risk?
Yeah, that's something definitely that your team has to consider in this situation, because that's kind of what happened with Maryland. This team was really good. Maryland was really good on Ascent and knew what they were doing, and Marshall still had that confidence, but Maryland was just better. Plain and simple. Maryland played everything to a perfect tee, and they were playing completely different than the other team. You had Jet on Maryland just wide swinging off Cat through an Omen smoke. No one expects that, especially this Marshall team. And I think if I actually watched that last game against Argonne, they were actually watching that Cat smoke a little bit more closely than they would have in the other previous games because of that Maryland Jet swing.
And I think that comes down to just the level of experience. Even though they did have a great run last week, it was not a well-oiled machine. Let's not get that twisted. It was not a clean tournament run for Marshall. They were able to pull it out, and that's what's impressive from last week. But it was not a clean 5-0 sweep to start the tournament. It was a machine that needed constant fixes. They were on the side of the road a couple times with flat tires, but they were able to get it back rolling.
Yeah.
And that's what Marshall was able to accomplish last week. That is the significance. This week it needs to be more well-oiled. They need to be prepared to keep the car moving.
And honestly, I think that's the difference between this tournament and last week's tournament is you have a Marshall team who scrimmed this week, who played their league game and won, and then they've been also individually playing this whole time. So it's not like last week's tournament. They had a couple practices, but they didn't have anything. Texas Tech forfeited their match. They didn't get that experience. They went into that tournament almost as green as can be, especially with Psycho joining them for the first time. He's only been playing with them for a few weeks, and now he's got another week of experience. He's got all these games now under his belt with this team, and they're just meshing so well. And honestly, I just wish that we could be in that room right then when they won that game. You know, it had to be.
I would love for that room to be mic'd up.
The energy had to have been massive. Maybe we can get a fan cam in there. Yeah. Oh, I just got word from our producer that there will be a cam in there next week. So we're gonna see him cheering. We're gonna see fist bumps. We're gonna see Tyler getting ignored. We're gonna see Tyler getting mad, smacking the desk. Sorry, Blurred. I'm used to calling him Tyler.
You're gonna see Blurred scream GG at the end of games.
GGs. You know it had to come through whenever that happened. What was that? Oh, and I'd like to just go ahead and say our sponsor. What are you drinking there, Lucas?
We are partnered with Red Bull.
Hold that baby up.
The Red Bull Campus Clutch Tournament is being sponsored and being funded by Red Bull themselves. You have to respect the brand. Delicious energy drink.
For the brand, baby.
For the brand.
It gives you wings, and that's not to be confused with real wings.
But you know what?
Two eyes.
But once you have a Red Bull in your system,
you feel like
you have wings.
Like
you know the guys over in the arena are feeling the effects of Red Bull. It's powering them through this tournament.
I saw Shojo early this morning with a Red Bull in his hand saying, I got to get some caffeine in me. and obviously it helped.
And it was the Red Bull.
What was that, sir? All right, looks like we're getting ready to start the next game soon. I still haven't gotten any word.
I have the official map.
You have the map?
It is in. Take a guess, Joe. There's not a whole lot of guesses. Let's play the game.
Don't even tell me it's a scent right now.
It's not a scent.
Icebox.
It
I
is
just
ice
got.
box.
I wonder if I've got to know, man. I need to know. I need to know if it was us that banned it, or if it was Platinum who banned it.
So I can tell you right now, the ban started. Marshall banned Bind.
Mm-hmm.
UVA Platinum banned Pearl.
Mhm.
Marshall banned Haven. Platinum banned Breeze. Marshall banned Fracture. And UVA banned Ascent. It was not Marshall's decision. UVA saw that Marshall wins on this map and decided we do not want to see Marshall on Ascent. We want to see them on anything else.
So, well, that I feel like that gives Marshall a little bit of an ego boost there.
It's a
like,
chip on the shoulder.
well, I mean, you got to think they think we're so good on Ascent, but just wait till they see our icebox.
And right now, I'm feeling, if I'm any of the Marshall boys, I'm saying they didn't want to see us on Ascent. This was a tug of war. I can guarantee that Encrypt, as the team captain, doing bans, was saying, hey, guys, do we want to every single time they had a ban, we're thinking, do we want to ban Ascent? Are we going to be the team to do it? Who's going to be the one to give Ascent up? And it wasn't Marshall. UVA said was the deciding fact. They made the decision to say, we don't want to see Marshall on Ascent. That's a map that they seem to be very dominant, and this week got even better on. You don't want to see Marshall on Ascent. They want to see him on Icebox.
Well, that's really good. Marshall got some experience over this past week with Icebox again, so I know that they're even more confident with those last two, with a couple more maps now instead of just Ascent. So I think honestly they'll be a lot more clean than we saw last week when they played Icebox.
Last week's Icebox, it was not pretty. There was a lot of problems. You saw Marshall very good on defense on an attack-sided map.
Yep.
And then could not gel their offense together. If this week they keep that same defensive plan in its scope and just work on that offense and once again make a cohesive game out of it, it could be a runaway game for Marshall if they're able to perform like they did last week on Icebox.
And that's what's crazy about this Marshall team is before they were stuck on Icebox in sense of CT, which is you said that they just did really well with this past game. Last season, their CT side on Icebox was honestly their really weak side. They would get run over on Icebox, a lot of retakes on A that did not work out. But this time I've seen a super boost. I'm talking the Pat McAfee super boost to their confidence. I'm telling you, they're just so fluid in their retakes on A now. They know what they're doing. They know the lineups. They know where these guys are going to be playing. They know this guy's probably going to be here. This guy's going to be here. And then you add that in with the spice of Psycho's unpredictability.
I was just going to add that in, Joel. I think Psycho is the difference maker. This is what I was going to go into next. As a Sage player on Icebox, that's the swing player. That is your player that's playing mid, playing kitchen, maybe even leaning towards A. That's your player that if you need to boost a site, he's going to be the one to go. You have to be able to adapt in every single situation as a Sage player. And Psycho last week was that gel for the team. He is the unit of Icebox as a whole.
If it doesn't tell you anything, it should tell you that originally they had Psycho over on Sova on this map, and they had They had Psycho on Sova, and they had Shoujo on Sage. And they saw how well that Psycho was playing on that Sage, how comfortable he was, and how well he used his util. They're like, guys, we got to put Shoujo on Sova and keep Psycho on Sage. And honestly, it's the right move.
I will say I've talked with the IGL explicits. I've talked with the captain in Encrypt, and there is a little bit of thought in the composition of the team, even beyond that right there, because you have Shoujo on Sova, a very defensive-sided player, a player that's not going to be the entry fragger on the site. But
Just more information.
But Shoujo is your best rifler.
Yep.
It's a conflict of interest because he's so good as an entry fragger on players like Jet and even Yoru, as he likes to claim. Plug to Shoujo. And you may see some Yoru if we get something like Breeze. But
you might.
Putting him on Sova is an interesting pick because he cannot have that impact. He has to find impact in different ways that he's not used to. but he was able to last week. He was not fragging, but he was getting
Yeah.
the recon bolts and the shock darts were on point. He was able to provide impact in a way that he's not used to on a week-to-week basis. So maybe we see him play something like a fade on Icebox, possibly. Maybe if they think that would help them more, I think that's a possible switch we may see today.
I mean, it's very possible. We see how comfortable Sojo is on that fade. I mean, but he just works so well with the Sova as well. He doesn't get frags like you said on Sova, but he's still dropping, at least 15. He's still doing his due diligence, but he's getting that information. He knows how to use the util, and it's the same way with Blurred. As Blurred uses the smokes, he's not sitting there. He's not trying to get 30 a game. He's not trying to get 20 a game. He's just trying to support his teammates, trying to get them to be able to get kills with a lot of the one-ways for Psycho, for a lot of the one-ways for his Shoujo, to ease them into getting their frags and to get them sparking.
I mean, the most important thing, Viper. This is one of the only maps Viper is very extremely viable outside
Yep.
of maybe Breeze and possibly Pearl in a dual controller setup. You got to think that Blurred's impact on this map is not kills. And maybe that's a relief for Blurred in some situations, that he doesn't actually have to frag. But Viper staying alive on this map is the most important piece to this team. You can look at individual players and say that Psycho's individual impact makes this team win rounds. But if a Viper goes down early in the round
Yep,
and you don't
it's
have a
huge on-
retake wall,
huge.
if you don't have that orb to keep the team going, to put off A main, have a wall for retake B, your team has no hope for some retakes. The Viper just has to stay alive and provide that external impact that the scoreboard does not show.
Yeah, Blurred in Ascent, he could go down early and it would be okay. But in this map, he needs to play back. You can't be having your Viper go down early. He's absolutely huge on Icebox, especially on those A site retakes where you're going to be mollying off the ceiling to keep him off default. You have that incredible retake wall where it covers jail, bell, all of that.
Over 410.
Yeah, it covers half. It covers pretty much half the half the site right there. You need Viper there, or else it's going to be incredibly hard. And heaven forbid that you have your Sage go down as well, because then it makes it even tougher if you have both those down, because you can't put that Sage wall up to try and defuse.
If you're Sage and Viper in a 3v3 retake, if the two players that are down are Sage and Viper, the retake is hopeless on this map. It almost
Unless you have a KO wall, it's got a little bit of a chance.
but those are one round halves, maybe two at max and a half. You don't have that often, but you have a Viper every single round. You have a Sage wall on nearly every single round minus ecos. Those are the two characters on this map that you nearly have to have for retakes, and if they are down, you're in safe situations. Even if you have Shoujo and Explicits up, it may not be enough if the other team's Viper is still up. If they have that orb up on the bomb,
Yep.
with one poison orb from Viper, it's over. With one molly, you're at one health on the on the bomb.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it if the other team has lineups.
Which that's exactly what hopefully we'll see here in a few minutes. I know the game should be getting started pretty soon, but we don't know how this UVA team's going to play. I mean, it's possible that they throw us for a loop. They throw a Reyna in the game. I mean, I've seen it before on Icebox. Like you said, will they pick Sova? Will they pick Fade? Will they even go the dual initiators? I mean, we don't know much about this team. Are they going to play lineups with Viper? That's a huge thing to know. And it's just so hard with the random brackets. You don't know who you're going to be playing, and I think that's kind of what makes this so exciting. Is you're like every map is almost a toss-up. You're like, who is? It's like March Madness. You're like, who is this 10 seed team that's beating all these guys?
Absolutely, you never know, and different lineups are going to work differently against different universities, right? You have maybe that KO pick or the Sova pick is going to be the one to beat Virginia, but you accidentally picked Fade thinking it'd be better. Just because you think it's going to work, if it's not the right composition to counter whoever your opponent is, that's where it gets exciting. If you see the picks from both teams, that they have strategies in mind that against a Sova may not work, but against a Fade, it would render her completely useless. That's what I want to see. That's what makes this tournament so exciting that Red Bull's putting on for us.
Yeah.
You just never know. It's constantly exciting. You're constantly adapting. You have no time to actually study your opponents because your opponents are happening right now. By the time you know your opponent, you're already in the game previous.
Yep. Which I do want to say this very clearly. I want to, before this game starts real quick, I want to say big shout out to Red Bull. And I mean, not just because we're partnered with them, but because of just how much this means to the Valorant community. You're starting to get esports involved in colleges. You're starting to get young people into the games instead of just professional Valorant. You have people wanting like these young teams because it's kind of more of a toss-up too in some of these teams. Some of these pro games are just straight blowouts, and looks like now that we're in the comp here, it's going to be exactly what we thought it would be. We have everyone on their roles exactly. Encrypt still hovering. Nope, there he goes, locked in, and you know Blurred's just going to take his sweet old time because it's Blurred. But he's going to be on that Viper.
He's singing songs right now with the team. You know Blurred is trying to bring the hype, but it's whether the team wants to listen to him or not.
Personally, I would mute him in Discord so fast. But
Blurred, we absolutely love you.
You know, if he's got that Spectrum Classic, he's in there.
You know he's singing. The comp stays the same, though, from last week. I mean, you have to think it worked last week. That's the comp they are comfortable on. And sometimes comfort over the proper pick takes weight.
Now,
Choose your agent.
just because their CT is good, do you think that Marshall's going to have the same success on attack?
I would hope so. You know, I really want to see them come out, win pistol, win the bonus, and come out with at least 5 to 6 rounds on that attack, because we know how strong their defense can be. That is where, even, like I said, on this attack-sided map, defense, you have to be able to pull up rounds. They're starting on that defensive side.
And as we see, they're not going double initiator on the side of Platinum. They're going to throw in a Jet.
I don't know how much I like the Jet in the current meta.
I've seen it. I've seen it a lot on Icebox, a Jet and a Chamber. And, I mean, it works if your Jet is absolutely filthy. I mean, this could be a Maryland Jet, you know. This could be one that's just got cracked out aim, so that's why they want that duelist on there. But this might be bad on the side of Platinum because Marshall's starting on that defense, baby.
Blurred already throwing down that A retake wall, even though he's going to play B by himself with explicits.
I thought you were gonna talk about how he's spraying everywhere.
If you would like to take notice, Blurred loves looking. There it is again. Once again, the duck
That's
making
his
an
third
appearance.
spray. Let's see if he gets a fourth here. I guarantee it's happening.
There
There it is.
I would love to see a counter on the screen of how many times Blurred sprays in a game.
We need it. I know if Ducky's watching, he probably loves it because that's a duck. But here we go.
Psycho playing on
Round
this A side.
one.
Looks like he's going to take the zip line. He is.
Playing aggressive. Oh,
But that recon dart may put an end to these plans. He's still going to play the angle.
yeah. For all they know, that shot came from Maze.
Psycho just playing aggressive. You know he has that wall if he needs to get out. But a belt player could put an end to that dream quickly. He's going to go and throw the wall up and go back to sight. 20 seconds in the round. That wall is going to last for a majority of the round.
This is very much like a UFC fight, like how you compare to boxing. The first few rounds are a little slow. They got to feel out their opponent. They don't know exactly how they're going to play. They don't know what strikes they're throwing. They just got to see how it's going to be and match the timing of the other team.
And notice, Marshall has no one actually watching mid. You have Viper watching under tube. But if they make a quick mid play, Marshall may not be ready for it.
True, could have them back on the heels if they do an A pinch here.
I mean, you have Encrypt and Psycho ready to trade off each other, play off each other, holding this cross. Recon comes in, does not see anyone in sight. Looks like Virginia's going to be taking A site.
Crypt missing huge kills, but they know 4's there now.
And Encrypt picks up one, gets the trade on to
30
Shoujo.
seconds.
Jet's got a sheriff.
There's still 2 on A site. They've walled off screens, though. The help has to come in from heaven.
Psycho has his heal, but he's not going to
20
be able to grab it.
seconds.
And they're gonna triple swing here.
Encrypt dies.
Psycho goes down 2, and it's a 2v4.
Not able to get the trades
Spike
that they
planted.
needed. 2v4 retake still completely possible. Explicit's ghost up.
We've seen him do it before. He can do it again, but
Not
it's
able
definitely
to
not
pick.
looking good now. They're all playing super aggressive with pistols.
Oh,
They know.
gets the dink.
Gets
Explicit
one,
with
could
one.
find 2.
Standing.
Does not
They're
find
weak,
2.
but Blurred has 10 HP and a dream, and it's just not going to happen.
The enemy Jet, as you said before, gets the 3K, showing off that Jet pick early. Gets the 3K. Blurred. Spring once again. Added to the counter.
But, but on the side of Marshall, with their retakes being so good, it's kind of hard to retake with 2 people. When you don't have anybody to retake with, you can't really do anything. And especially when they know where they're at, they walled CT, which is a very aggressive wall, but you can do that when you absolutely swamp whoever is on site.
That's what happened there.
With a triple swing with pistols and the Jet getting a 3-piece.
That was a
just-
4-man push right there, Joel. That
Yep.
was. They waited until 20 seconds left in the round. That is a gutsy call on behalf of UVA, but it pans out for them.
But honestly, I mean, if you think a team is holding default like this with a split, 2 on A, 2 on B, and 1 in the mid, which is what we were playing,
Now Blurred.
that if you 5-swing 2 people with 5 pistols, you're gonna win that gunfight.
Blurred giving up his mid control under tube and going to play it from that A side. A little bit of a gutsy play himself. Psycho, I like this on top of screens play that Psycho is doing right now. But a recon will push him off of this angle quickly.
And this team that we've seen Virginia so far is playing pretty patient. So you know they're going to wait until that recon darts back up.
I would love to see Encrypt do the play of spraying behind him right there. So that headshot angle is a little bit harder to see when they swing belt.
Sojo pushing up a little aggressive.
They
I
know.
don't know.
They are in A. Marshall has full map control outside of A main. They know the A hit's coming. 30 seconds left in the round.
But this isn't good because they still have pistols.
The pistols.
30 seconds
Encrypt
left.
knows they have the pistol. He's playing that close angle. Jet able to pick off
Dinks
Psycho.
one.
And Marshall falling like dominoes. 2v5 retake once again. 20 seconds left in the round.
Explicits finds one with that ghost, and so does Shoujo on the flank. They both.
Spike planted.
Shoujo has a bulldog, but he only has 30 HP.
Oh, misses the jump. He has to reload as well. But he has a rifle. Shoujo with that rifle is lethal. Can be.
Drone comes in from Shoujo.
They
Tags
one's
one
fridge.
back.
Last player standing.
And
Another one goes
Explicits
down.
falls 1v3. The odds were not in their favor.
But at least 2 is better than nothing on a pistol round, and that is for sure.
You get first pick.
There was a shimmer of hope, Joel.
Yeah, there was.
With the entry in the retake by Explicits, but it was not meant to be. But now Marshall's on full rifles. This is when Marshall has to put their impact. A pistol round could go either way in the bonus. Most games are going to start 2-0, 0-2, but right now
You
is
can't
when the
let
game
him hit
starts.
that 3-0. You got to be able to pull it out here and make it a 2-1 or a 2-2. You don't want to. You really don't want to see that 3-0. If that 3-0 comes up, it's going to very quickly, most likely, turn into a 4-0.
Just like we saw last game. As Argonne dropped their first rifle round, it was just a domino effect for a 5-0 start, and that is gut-wrenching.
Sovon, A-Site, Psycho waiting to put that wall down. Maybe he saves it and puts it somewhere else.
Still playing that mid-cross under tube. You know Explicits wants that B main kill and TP back onto site.
They have yet to push B main really at all. Just nothing but 5 on A. Nothing mid either.
Note how slow and methodical they're playing through A main. I would like to see a fast flank one of these times to at least keep UVA on their toes and not let them have this A main control all round long.
And it's really weird because they're not showing presence even at A where they have been attacking. It's like they're just sitting back in their spawn almost and
They
just
want
waiting
Marshall.
for 10 seconds to go.
And I like this. Psycho waits a long time into the round.
And now that's going to last pretty much the rest of the round.
They're going to have to break if they want to go A.
Blurred saying, screw this, I'm getting aggressive. These guys are just sitting back.
Gutsy call by Blurred if he peeks this. It is. He gets the information, dies in 2 to a
30
Sheriff.
seconds
What a
left.
shot from UVA. Takes
hate
the man
to see
advantage.
that.
26 seconds. They're going to have to go the B site now. Splitting through mid and B
Shoujo,
main.
late dart here. They know they're going up kitchen. He's going for the wall bang.
Shoujo
Doesn't
trying
quite get
to do
it.
right back to him.
Explicit
falls
doesn't get
B
out.
main to a Sheriff.
This is huge for Platinum right now.
And you know what that means for their
10
Sheriff.
seconds
or
left.
their,
They have a rifle.
but
Spike
also, that
planted.
chamber saving for an op next round. You cannot let them build this economy, but it's looking like it's going to happen this round. Marshall picks up
Crypt
one from
says
the
we're
Crypt.
not going into the night quietly. Gonna molly bottom
Once
sight.
more. He's going to have to break that wall to get to the bomb.
You know they're probably all playing back yellow.
That late lurk, you see Encrypt keep looking back. He's worried about that late lurk mid. He keeps worried, but you can't keep worrying forever or the bomb's going to go off. This is the moment.
Looks like they're just gonna save
It's
it.
going to be a save. This could be a smart save. This is a tough retake with that Viper still standing, has both mollies for sight. This is almost an impossible retake unless you miraculously get rid of that Viper. Shoujo and Encrypt know that they're just going to save their rifles for the next round and try to stay competitive in round
And
4.
going down 0-3 is ugly, especially on a map that is not your number 1. It's your number 2 map probably. Going down 0-2 or 0-3 is not a good look. Looks like they're and even the save for Shoujo, he's only going to be able to buy light shields. He can't go.
But you
full
still have
armor.
those 2 rifles, an early pick in the round, and Marshall is right there to win round 4. but they have to be able to get these opening picks.
But that's
UVA,
the problem. They're not showing anything.
UVA is playing so slow. This might be the
I might
slowest team,
fall asleep.
but it works. And Explicit's getting aggressive. A, not going to let them have that A presence this round, but they're not there.
They're sitting back, making them a nice sandwich back there,
They're
cooking
not
some
there,
stuff over the
but
fire.
they are there. The Sage gets the early pick from Belt.
Which that was, who was it that went down? That was Psycho playing aggressive in jail, just trying to switch it up. Doesn't work out for them. They're going to go up that mid tube again and just take that B side is what they're looking to do right now.
And Viper is on an island B all alone. The last line of defense, but if that Viper goes down, the round is lost.
And there's the Sova Dart coming in. And
They're going to have to start rotating towards it. Blurred trying to delay the plant with his Viper mollies, but he cannot delay forever. The team has to be there. They're all going to that snowman. Couple going kitchen.
but they could be backing out here and going back to A, and Shoujo finds one.
Shoujo evens the round.
He's
4
got his
on
dart
4.
here.
Revealing area.
Hopefully he gets a scan here, trying to get
Shoujo, rifle in his hands. You cannot count him out of the round,
down.
but Blurred, the Viper goes down.
huge loss for on the side of Marshall.
The retake potential just
30
falls
seconds
drastically with one person going down. Shoujo
Shoujo
evens
finds
it.
another.
He evens the round. 2 picks from Shoujo, but yeah, you're going to have to get more than that this round.
And that's a big knife from KO.
Notice no
player
trade.
Oh, and he couldn't get the third for the bomb.
Encrypt, 1v2,
Encrypt still has
but
a
the
rifle.
bomb is still not down. 10 seconds remain.
10
All you have to do is
seconds
stop the
left.
plant. They don't stop the
Spike
plant.
planted.
Encrypt
One
won.
enemy remaining.
Encrypt just needs to play
Oh.
time, and he doesn't do
But
it.
the round ends in a heartbreak fashion. Encrypt not able to stop the plant. Gets one, not able to bring 2 with him.
That is absolutely freaking. That's just huge on the side of Platinum. All Encrypt had to do, he just didn't click it fast enough. He went to pop flash and realized all I have to do is play time here. They don't have time to plant, so he goes to tuck back in behind back sight. But it's just that split second of not deciding to do that is what cost him the round there. And now it's 0-4. But Marshall's back up on a buy round. They could full buy here. They took away 4 out of 5 rifles, but obviously they could still buy here. But it's still a pretty decent round for a quote unquote save round.
And they're not playing aggressive. They learned their lesson from last round. Psycho died early in the round, jail last round, and then UVA was able to just take a site because you know the maximum going to be on site is 2 if they take it fast enough. Psycho going to save his life this round. He's going to play through maze. He's going to throw that wall down late. I still like that wall down in under the minute time. It makes you give information to Marshall about where they're going to go if they decide to break that wall.
I agree. That's very, very smart. And there, here comes the Sova drone.
Oh, the
And he's
Sova
gonna
ult
back
too.
up.
They don't decide to ult Psycho.
That's what Psycho was expecting. He backs up, but still nothing pushing Belt, and Crip's holding it with a rifle right now. And there's nothing B main either. They have 2 B main watching. And there's just nothing. They're just showing no presence until the last second to try and catch them on the heels with the
UVA,
rotate.
38 seconds left. Looks like UVA is now going to start making. KO ult is in, trying to hold back. No utility can be thrown on site any longer.
And that's got to
30
force
seconds
UVA to
left.
back up here. They have the Viper wall up on the side of Marshall and the KO ult.
But-
There's
and
nothing
Kitchen-
they can do.
The chamber trip kitchen has been destroyed. They know exactly where UVA is. They can be able to say if the A players get over fast enough, the sandwich can occur. The plant is going down though. Explicit
seconds left.
Find
kills
one
the
through
planter.
the smoke.
8 seconds. They have to get a plant down. 6 seconds remain.
Can the spam be enough? They just put the
2
wall
seconds.
up. They might not get the bomb down.
And a round for Marshall comes down to the last second. 3 members of each team remain, but Marshall is on the board.
The beginning.
And that wasn't exactly the cleanest round, but that's what you want. That's what bit them in the butt for Platinum, is that they waited too long. This waiting too long, yes, it's catching Marshall on the heels to where they have to
Needed
fast
that.
rotate over, and if they don't, the Platinum has the incomplete man advantage. But on the downside of that is if they stop the push with the 2 they have on site, then they do not have any time to plant there. And especially if you can't get that Sage wall up, which they couldn't, because you just have people spamming through the smoke.
Let's play.
It's what a great round for Marshall, not in terms
Reloading.
of just hitting shots, but execution. They know what UVA is trying to do. They're just taking their time, and all Marshall has to do is stall right there. 20 seconds left. UVA made that decision to just completely abandon A, and Explicit kills the planner, and there's nothing UVA can do about it. What led them to a 4-0 start was their downfall in round 5. Marshall still just playing back, not playing into the UVA game, but they have to be able to get those trades as soon as UVA decides to take a site. That will be the difference maker in this game, I believe, wholeheartedly.
Knife deployed.
Still just playing very slow. They said, listen, guys, we might be playing slow, but it literally was maybe we were a second off from playing.
The planner went down through and Viper Orb. That's not going to happen every time. And Crypt gets one. His life's still alive. He wants to take more with him. And Crypt gets the 3.
Psycho also getting the 4. It's a 5v1.
What a huge crossfire held by Encrypt, and Psycho Encrypt with a 3K massive kills to start the
and
round.
They have Spike down right in front of them. You know these guys are not going to peek, especially with that chamber up online. Unless Jojo, I don't agree with that peek, but the trade comes in with Psycho because once again, playing as a team, getting the trades in.
And that came down to Psycho and Encrypt trusting one another, understanding that I have the left, you have the right, they have a crossfire. You cannot break the wall that was built between Psycho and Encrypt in that round. Beautiful play from Marshall. And keeping 4 rifles up is a huge statement for their economy that has not truly been built yet.
Looks like one more round for Marshall, and they break the economy on the side of UVA. But same cannot be said for Marshall. If UVA wins this, they still have by maybe 2. Here we go. Explicits, once again, they're just defaulting again to see. They actually finally tag someone with that KO knife. Finally some presence at the beginning in the first 30 seconds of a round.
You have to think that UVA, 3 ults up, they can risk being a little aggressive if they want to with that Sage res. You have a Jet ult that they have not taken advantage of and a Sova ult that has not led to any post plants yet. Explicits has to TP back onto site. Blurred just needs to stay alive. There's no true mid presence. Blurred can die from under tube right now. The team needs to just form that wall they need. It looks like it's going to be a retake situation. Blurred kills one with a molly, but the bomb goes down.
Still absolutely big right there. You definitely don't want to do a 5v5 retake on B, especially when they're all playing back. You're just going to have to play some trades here.
There's 3 B main. Jet is yellow. This can be a tough retake, but completely doable. Explicits falls, no one to trade him, but Psycho gonna just hold.
Psycho gets it half, but he's gonna maybe the exchange of his life, but he stays alive. That's absolutely huge for Marshall. They have bomb half. They can pretty much play with the one. The pop flash does not go his way.
He's gonna stick it.
He's gonna stick it.
What a huge
Psycho's
round.
gonna get it. And like we said before,
and all the kill. What a massive round for Marshall's momentum. Massive round for the economy.
Massive. Oh my goodness. That is that retake, man, and the combination, like we said before, Viper and Sage are absolutely essential for a retake, and that is exactly what we saw there. We saw the Viper put her orb, we saw Blurred put her orb up there, so they couldn't see what was happening. And the Sage wall goes up in the orb. They don't know it's up. They're shooting mollies to try and knock them off of it, but they can't because they're just bouncing off the Sage wall. And by the time they realize it, it is too late, and that makes it 3-4. Huge rounds for Marshall.
And Psycho, huge play, not dying to that Sova ult.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I thought for sure he was going to get it half in exchange of his life, but he stays up, and that leads to the win.
What a big round and breaking. If you wrote a book, Joel, that's the perfect ending for Marshall. Get the defuse. 3 members stay up and you wipe the entire enemy team. It could not have went better, but you have to be able to take advantage right now in round 8 of this game. A minute left. UVA not making their presence known. This is exactly what Marshall should be expecting.
UVA looks like they're UVA still sticking to the game plan. Nothing crazy. I think their economy's broken. I can't say for sure, but it's what they should be broke right here. So maybe they try another 5-man swing onto A with pistols.
This could be huge. If this knife sees 2, it sees 3.
And it looks like looks like exactly that's what they're going to do. They're going to try and overwhelm them. But nobody rotating on the side of Marshall.
Marshall's not going to fall for a fake, but could it be their downfall? If these pistols can come in and get some trades, UVA could have a site. The Sage slow comes on. They want to get on the site as quickly as possible. 19 seconds. UVA has to pop flash in from Encrypt. Does not get the
Huge knife kills on the side of Jet.
that jet ult finally comes into play,
Spike
gets
They're
the
gonna
kill
get spiked
needed,
down.
but no
They
gun.
need to take that Jet out.
Sojo not able to get that entry pick, but Explicit makes it. Sojo
Explicits again. Explicits and
through the
Sojo.
wall. The dynamic duo finally waking up in this game. It's a 2v2.
To Jet and
Last
Maze.
player
But
standing.
Blurred
1v2.
falls to his side. Explicits wasn't peeking with him. A little bit of lack of team comms there. Explicits has to at least tap the bomb, make a presence known.
But now they know
One
he's not on
enemy
it.
remaining.
Explicit's 1v1 situation cannot clutch it after the 3K. Marshall, heartbreaking round that would have tied the game
Even
up.
with numbers, anything
That
can
just
still
hurts to watch,
Remember-
man. You think, I thought he was just going to get it. You know, you usually get a three-piece there. You still have pretty much all of your health, and you're just wide swinging. You got that confidence. Usually in those situations, you see the four-piece. You see the clutch come in. But, I mean, you got to just, I don't know, man.
And
That's
you-
just tough.
You have to respect UVA's play right now. They are playing one of the most methodical games of Valorant I think I've ever witnessed.
It is a
firsthand.
chess match out there, and it's up to the IGL of Marshall Explicits. He's calling the game, he's calling the shots, and Junior IGL Blurred is also throwing some opinions in there. But as we see, we have a timeout by Marshall to talk it over, which I like this timeout. They're not exactly down a lot. They've not lost 4 rounds in a row. It's nothing crazy, but they're just resetting that momentum. They're getting in there, just calm her down, guys. We're good. We know what these guys are doing. We know what they're playing. They're waiting the last 5 seconds. Just hold them off
You can
sight.
say that about UVA. They are taking their time, whether you're doing the exact same play. At least every play starts in A main. And if they can take A main, they take the site. If they can, they rotate B.
Yep.
It has been the same. It has worked for them. They are winning the game 5-3 right now, but it is extremely obvious as what UVA wants to do. And I don't see UVA changing the game plan that much. Marshall just has to be prepared to counter it right now.
Yeah, and especially on that round, they really didn't buy up. They might have bought a few hero rifles and they have jet knives. Ooh, but Explicit has the op out now, and he's opping mid, switching it up since he's seen no one really B main this entire game. He's hungry for picks. Maybe we see a chamber. Maybe we see him switch over to the A site instead to try and get somebody.
You know, I would love to see that Lurka be main at some point in this game. It's every time they've done it, they've had control. If you can at least get into that T-spawn area and just sandwich into A main, you have a clear advantage starting the round.
And
Psycho not able to pick up
sitting
one.
in nest. He had the play, but he just couldn't get the shots down.
Misses the spray, and it leads to a 5-on-3
Spike
retake.
planted.
Marshall down 2. Shojo with the dink.
You know
through
he has to be
rafters.
upset about that.
Apparently that bullet just clipped the rafter, not leading to a kill, and it's probably going to be the reason Marshall just doesn't take fully. I think this is a save situation.
Well, unless you can get the Viper on the site and get site control. If the other's playing back, you can Viper ult here and fight for that. But it's going to be a tough round to win on the side
And
of
you have
Marshall.
that Sage Wall that just now breaks on screens. Sojo trying to hero get a couple kills, but falls and loses a rifle
And looks
as
like
his
Marshall
team
just
runs
going to
away.
save, which I actually agree with this save. You got the op and a Phantom up. You got to keep it. That op can become absolutely huge for Marshall. We've seen it before. Explicit's getting 3 pieces and even 4 pieces with the ace.
I would like to see Explicits work his way towards that A site once again. With that op, I think that could be the difference maker for Marshall in holding back a push. If he can get that early pick, as I say early as when the push happens, not early in the round, because we know UVA is going to take their time. If Explicits can get that first person that peaks, it could derail the entire push. And by the time UVA gets going, they don't have time to alter.
I mean, especially if that pick is one of these main players like Jet or that Viper. The Viper would be huge, no smokes, but the Jet would also be huge because she's just got really good aim. And here we see, there it is, the switch over to A main. We figured it would happen. And now he's just got to wait about 30, 40 seconds for UVA to play.
I don't know if I like the slow, though. I like the Viper ult.
I like the Viper ult here because that's going to force them over into Explicit's op unless they fight sight here.
I think Psycho's going to swing this after the recon. He does, but no one's home. Psycho
finds one and he
knocks
gets
by
out.
himself.
That's huge for Marshall to get out with Psycho. Blurred with the Bulldog. I would think he'd go Shorty here, or Vector maybe, but
He does not.
Or
Psycho's
even
gonna wall.
Judge.
He's on the wall. This could be
Oh my
massive.
goodness.
What a play inbound.
And they're going to res. They know he's there, but he's just not going to get it.
Misses the spray, had the play.
But they know that he knows that they're right here.
But Blurred, they know Blurred is close. He's trying to stop the plant. 40 seconds left in the round. He can't delay forever. He needs this team to show up.
This is the fastest UVA's been here. Explicit still on A with the op. Could shut it down if they rotate.
It's not looking like UVA is going to commit to this
30
B site, though.
left.
But Marshall
Still
has not been
two.
fooled.
And if you look, Shoujo's actually going up mid. Oh, but they expect it, man. They knew somebody was probably going to be watching it. Good read by UVA. And here it comes.
And Explicit has to get the pick. He gets the first frag.
Huge. And
14 seconds.
He doesn't TP out, and he gets two.
Because he brings two with him. That's buy one, get one, Joel.
And here we go. 10 seconds left.
All
Explicit
misses.
can't get the flick.
But 3 seconds.
Spike
The
planted.
spike planted.
Last
He
player
can't get the res on
standing.
KO. And
And
UVA.
Explicit's left asking, how much do I have to do? This is 2 huge rounds that Explicit has played great, but his team is just not there to back him up.
And you have to think Explicit gave everything he had that round. But a timeout for Marshall leads to the last 2 rounds. These are critical rounds.
Another huge round another huge timeout that Marshall has to take here to say, guys, what do we need to do? And Lucas, what, in your opinion, is the thing that they need to do to win this game?
I want to see Marshall being aggressive in the mid area, in the B main area, in the areas UVA's not taking control of early in the round. They are showing nothing mid in the early round. Take some map control. The only control they're giving is to the defensive side. They're only holding down the sites. They're barely having any presence mid. If you can actually start sandwiching them and pinching them in A main, in the A main side of T-spawn, you can actually start making a presence. You can force UVA's hand to either act or play defensive, and by the time they've made a decision, Marshall's already pinched them in to that A main. I want to see Marshall show a little bit of life, some aggression, and not just playing defense. They are playing UVA's game right now. UVA is controlling the pace, force UVA to make a move.
And why is Marshall not doing what they did before? Why are they not switching it up? Every round has been the same. Like you said, they're playing into UVA's hand. UVA's sitting back, they're chilling. Marshall's doing slight variances, but they're not doing anything like crazy.
Oh, Psycho, though,
Psycho
on the rope.
But see, the thing is, Psycho's already done this before, so they could expect it. See, this is what we want to see. Early aggression is what we need
I
from
want to see
Marshall.
Explicit.
We don't
I
need
want to see
late.
him swing this. He does.
And
He gets the dink and the kill.
See, we needed something switching up, and that's a great pick for Marshall. 4v5 going into it. They still have Viper all on the side.
See, and now, Joe, you played aggressive early in the round, but you don't have to keep that aggression.
Yep.
Now, UVA understands that they can be in the flank. They can be B-main, but Marshall's not playing aggressive anymore. Now you have the man advantage. Now you sit back. Now you play your game and say, get on the site. Try to break through this wall that you're already in a disadvantage in.
And a 5-7 half would be huge for Marshall.
It would. And if you get 5-7, win the pistol on T side, and then win your bonus, you are right back in this game. It is a tie ball game.
Looks like they're showing aggression toward B main. We had a Sova Dart come on to the back of yellow. No one's back there. They're going to take site for free. But Explicit is here to answer the call, but there's no dart shooter there.
It doesn't have to be. Explicit's trying to stop the plant.
But he knows he's going to get wall banged if he tries it. So he's trying to be
play.
semi-cautious. They have healed, though, so he's going to get healed back up.
What a smart play by Explicit, just staying alive. That is the biggest thing right now, keeping
they
numbers.
Have Blurred here to swing
Oh,
for this play.
Blurred. I want to see
fast
it.
enough.
Oh,
But the slow orb comes in. I agree with.
Wait.
But
I
not
thought
in
the wall had
time.
a hole. He can't shoot through
Oh,
it
he
completely.
can't shoot through
Spike
it.
planted.
That would have been absolutely massive if he had a gun there. That would have been pretty much game over for UVA.
But the Viper ult comes in. This round becomes a lot more crazy. This is it. Explicit's trying to get a pick through that Viper ult. Nobody's home when he's knocking.
3v4 retake is going to be
and
tough with
Marshall
2 sheriffs and a
falling.
rifle.
Marshall falling like
that
dominoes, and
2
Crypt goes
sheriffs.
down. And Marshall not able to secure the round after the early pick. Did not pick up another kill
Last
in
round
the
before
round.
the switch.
And once again, it's the side. It's just, it's not encrypted. It's Explicit. He's the only one showing up right now.
He's
the
the
only
impact
one.
player.
Anyone have
Encrypt in
funds
the
to
first
spare?
2, I believe,
Encrypt
5 of his
early
6
on,
kills.
Encrypt early on was good, but now Encrypt has fizzled out, and it's just Explicit's getting kills. I don't think Marshall has gotten a really a kill in the last 2 or 3 rounds that hasn't been explicit.
See, and kills are not the only point of matter in Valorant. You can have the play. It comes down to you two. It comes down to game sense, but game sense does not matter if you cannot finish the round with kills.
Yep.
Kills are the ultimate telltale of how well you played, and Marshall's playing well but not able to get the frags that they need. Marshall has to be able to flip that switch because Explicits cannot carry this offense by himself on that chamber roll.
Once again, UVA going up tube here. They see even Virginia switching it up, but Marshall's almost just staying the same. They're not showing anything different, and it's just killing them.
Falls on that A site, leaving Psycho on an island by himself. The Sova's gonna come.
He has
over to
res
help.
here, and he's gonna wall and res.
Have to, but on the other side of the wall is UVA. The res cannot come through just yet. Shoujo trying to help out with that Sova ult.
And he's gonna stop Bomb from getting put down, which is really
We
massive.
are back to a 5v5 Blurred with a pick on the chamber. But the Viper still stands. 2 up maze. They're going to have to put a stop to it. Shoujo breaks through the wall.
But they're gonna trade him out.
Jojo's traded.
Sova's going
Sova
huge.
takes 2 without getting traded.
Explicit's being patient with the op here up top.
This could be huge. It's going to be a 3v3 retake, but they're going to have to go quick once that bomb's planted. The Viper still standing. Shoujo.
Massive shock dart from Shoujo.
But the Viper, the most important player on the map, stands.
But where's she?
But
She
the
has to
flank.
be Maze right here.
Blurred is on a flank. He knows she's not close. A big pick by Explicits ends the half 8-4.
Whew, they absolutely needed that round for an 8-4 half. 8-4 half is able to come by. 9-3, you're scraping. 10-2, don't even think about it. It's probably over. 8-4, we'll take it.
And finishing out on a win at least shows signs of life. It brings a little bit of momentum. The pendulum swings a little bit out of UVA's favor. They're still up, but Marshall has to believe they have a chance. You win the pistol here. You win the bonus. It is an 8-6 start to the half, and that is completely winnable on a T-sided map as Icebox.
And if you can repeat the same thing that UVA did in terms of winning, you make it an 8-8 game, and just like that, you have Virginia on their heels instead of Marshall. And I think Marshall, honestly, I think their attack here is going to be absolutely huge for them.
A gift.
Default setup here for Explicits. They're doing this. They're doing a split. Looks like Explicit's going to lurk out B main to show some presence. They dart mid. Nothing's going to be found though. Nobody's home unless they get tagged by it just for fun.
This is the moment. Encrypt needs to find that fire he had in the first 2 rounds of the game in the first half. I want to see him start popping off.
Well,
I want to see KO have that impact that he can as a duelist hybrid that he is as an initiator.
Well, certainly last game on Icebox that Marshall played, Encrypt had huge rounds, absolutely crucial for the team. And looks like they're going to drone out B main here and see if they can find anybody. And that was really the problem for Marshall, is their B main retake wasn't as good. Their A main retake was the one that they worked on all offseason, was to make sure it was solid. And that's what they're hoping Virginia's the same way as their B is not as good as their A.
Need 40 seconds left. They are also taking their time, but UVA knows they are lurking towards that A site. Encrypt throwing a molly down, getting a little bit of map control. Pixel by pixel, Marshall is taking the A site. Bomb is going down.
Jet's going to get him, and they're going to swing 2,
The
but
flight goes down.
Psycho's enough for a distraction to stop him. 2 HP on Encrypt.
2 HP
and
and
2
a dream.
HP on Psycho as well, and they're going to both go, or one's going to go down.
Blurred is not in
up
position.
mid.
Blurred's not in position for any poison. He has no utility left, and that is huge in this round. 2v2.
Blurred finds it. He just needs to play.
With 20 HP
Last
between the
player
team.
standing.
It comes down to Blurred.
And it's that Jet again with the 3-piece with it.
Not able to
He's
get it.
one shot.
Jet dashes, and Blurred
Headshot,
falls.
4 pieces for this Jet. She is absolutely backpacking this UVA team.
What a round in these pistol rounds. That is 7 kills this game in pistol rounds for that Jet. Her impact, 19 kills.
7.
7 coming in pistol rounds. That tells me this Jet understands how to play that pistol round. Her aim, crisp.
And you know they're going to do the same thing they did for defense. They're going to save for that chamber for a possible op. And that's going to be absolutely huge on this map because you can either throw that in the hands of the Jet or you can throw it in the hands of the Chamber. And on defense, Ops, they can take out your whole team, as we see Explicits was trying to do that last half, but he didn't really get. It's really hard to op when your team is just losing all the time. You can't save that money. You got to go for rifles and you got to go for wins instead of kills with an op. Here we go. We got Explicits lurking up two.
Explicits trying to take a little bit of aggression up through two.
I wonder. I think they got the trip. Yep, they destroyed the trip, so the Chamber's going to be up there playing. And Crypt just going for orbs here. They're just going to try and get the bomb down and try and play their game. Oh, the trip was on B main. And then a weird wall for back yellow as well from UVA playing.
UVA trying to maintain map control, making Marshall fight for every single inch as they try to take this B site, Joel.
And regardless if Marshall wins or loses here, they will definitely have they'll have a lot of things to take away from this game.
Absolutely. UVA looking as if they are a very strong team in
Great
this
pop
tournament.
flash. Oh, almost choked it there, but realized if I just slow down, I can get this guy.
Takes his time. Maybe Marshall's getting a little bit antsy and encrypted in that moment.
And it's a 4v2, 3v2 now. Bomb goes down. We have a Ghost up, a Classic, and a Spectre on the side of Marshall. This is definitely a winnable round. Full HP for Encrypt, full HP for Sojo, and a little bit of damage done. And boom, there goes another one right there.
That's the impact player I just said I wanted. Encrypt.
And they know where the last guy is.
He's yellow.
They should just triple swing him here. Play together. Don't do anything. Don't give him 1v1s with the Spectre.
Sojo playing on top green. They know he's behind yellow. The Sova has to make a decision. Sojo dinks him but falls.
He's weak, but once again, that's just a 1v1.
Nobody.
You got to play together, and there it is. We're going to go here with a thrifty bomb down and 2 Spectres up for Marshall.
That scared me right there. Psycho takes that 1v1 while Sojo is trying to get the flank. Psycho does get it, but I don't like taking all these 1v1 in a 3v1 situation.
If you just triple swing him here, you probably got him.
If you just hold the angle, have one ready to swing off contact, you have to play as a team. You're not. We've seen it thus far. You are not beating this UVA team taking one-on-one gunfights. You have to play as a team. That's what UVA's doing. They're not playing for individual stats. They are playing to win this game, and Marshall has to start playing as a team.
And even though the pistol round didn't go the way they wanted, they're still going to get 2 rounds here because of the bonus round with the Spectres.
Some would argue.
Hopefully.
Some would argue it's a much riskier strategy, but losing the pistol and winning the eco is actually better for round win percentages. It's a risky because if you lose your own force,
then you're pretty much done.
But Marshall proving that they can win that eco and should be on pace to bring this to a 9-6, 9-7 game as long as they play their cards right.
Here comes the wall in.
Wall allows Sojo to play in the corner. Orb up for protection. It's a 5-on-5 post plant.
Healing you.
You can't ask for much more. UVA just willing to give up the site.
Explicit's buying the Vandal again.
That
confidence is not gone. Nothing tagged with the knife. They know they're not close yet.
The world, all the viewers at home know Explicits has that dog in him.
Explicits. Got the TP
but
down.
But he misses the first
tags
shot.
One, tags another.
It's the one pick. He's not terrified. He's missed shots, but he still has confidence. Encrypt mollies the bomb.
2 coming out.
And there it is.
Woo!
Flawless on the round.
Flawless. Absolutely great for Marshall's economy. That means they're... Oh my goodness, they're flourishing. They're only down 3, 6-9. This is still a very winnable game for Marshall.
I'd like to see the buy that UVA is going to be able to put together. Are they going to force this round or wait a round of full buy?
Well, Jet has her knives as well, so they could maybe save and just use the knife as well. But man, this is a tough game to watch right here.
Marshall fighting. They do have the money to full buy with maybe a couple pieces of utility missing. This is a game-defining round, Joel. Round 16. This could determine if Marshall's able to start the comeback.
I agree. If you win this one, you can very well win the next maybe 2 rounds.
I will say, I don't like that they're just 5-man B maining. I mean, Blurred is now making his way back towards mid. You've made no presence mid. You've made no presence in A main.
But then again, UVA was doing the same, but on A site. So Marshall's doing that, but just fast.
That's a fair point. The clock in Marshall's favor. You planted 30 seconds into the round. Another 5v5 post plant, but this time UVA has guns.
And now I don't know where Psycho is exactly on the map, but if he stays back, he has the res as well. So, yeah, he's staying back. So if someone dies top white there.
Dart shooter's not there. Tag 3 with the
But
magic.
Explicit says, I don't care, but they have the op on the side.
The wall. Do not let that. They don't let it happen. Blurred.
And Blurred
Huge
comes
flank.
huge with the flank, but it's just down to Psycho.
But it's not over just
He has
yet,
the option
Joel.
to res, but all he has right now is a Spectre, and he's just not going to be able to get it. He was this close.
Not able to stop the diffuser. 10-6. Marshall falls behind just a little bit more. The rounds, though, they're getting gritty, Joel. These are not clean wins from either team. Each team battling, but UVA starting. Timeout called by
Marshall. Marshall timeout.
This is a defender's timeout.
Is it?
This is not a Marshall timeout. UVA, possibly, they're showing cracks in the armor, Joel. Even though UVA's winning these rounds, I think UVA has shown they are not invincible now. Marshall finding that weakness on that B site. You lose the post plant, but UVA is giving B site up.
If they very well win that round, they most likely win the next round. And then all of a sudden it was an 8-9 game. This game is not exactly just blown out of the water. Sure, it looks like it because it's 6-10, but that's 4 rounds, and that's 4 very turnable rounds. You can turn this around very easily. If you break their economy, then you're game time. And right now, UVA is only up barely. If they win this round, they can maybe buy next round if they want to do some light shields. So I mean, it's still very winnable on the side of Marshall, but this is also Marshall's most likely if they could break their economy here too.
Marshall has to show that heart. They have to be resilient. Like I said last week, they have to dig their heels in the trenches and fight. This is not a game that's going to be given to them. This could arguably be their toughest opponent yet. Marshall has to find a way, change the strategy. It looks like they're just going to default. Explicit's mid. You're going to have a player going into that B main. Finally, they're showing presence outside of B, but Explicit's stuck in the corner. Has to be able to get the TP out. And he does. He saves his life smartly. Does not want to contest mid alone. No one there to trade him. But he's just peeking, shoulder peeking for information. Shoujo able to get that orb B main and get out.
There comes the knife again from the knives.
Psycho falling to Jet. Encrypt was not able to get the trade, but he's inching his way up A main, trying to get more map control. Slowly, they still have a minute. You have a lot of time on your side. Encrypt clearing every angle on the site.
But once again, it's that Jet on the side of UVA that's just trying her best to halt things. But look how far up Encrypt is, and he's going to find one.
Oh, Encrypt knows
Tags
Sova
another.
screens.
Here comes the shock darts.
You have one on site. You have your Viper ult down 3v4 retake, but the Viper ult is the most crucial thing.
And you know that Sova ult's going to come in.
But you get the plant down anyways.
Oh, but you can't have that happen because then Blurred goes down.
Blurred is down. The Viper ult's down. 2-on-4 post plant. It's a 1v3 scenario. Explicit's with 1. Can he get a second? He has to be able to get all 3 here. But the Sage has not been heard of all round. A slow orb comes.
Well, you know where she's at now.
Explicit's playing
One enemy
strategy.
remaining.
Gets the second. It's a 1v1 Joel. And he can't finish the 1v3. He gives everything he had, but it just was not enough.
And that's the story of this game. Is Explicit's just going huge, but he just can't do it all by himself.
He needs Blurred. The moment defined of that round was Blurred falling out of that ult. He has to stay alive.
Or someone else has to plant there. You have your whole team pretty much alive besides Psycho. You have 4 people alive, and I understand that Blurred's, he's not your fragger. But still, if he's going to put the Viper ult down while they have a Sova ult, you got to have someone else plant that bomb, or you got to fake the bomb plant so Sova's trying to shoot default, or plant it somewhere else. You don't have to plant it default where he's going to. You expect him to shoot that.
It comes down to Psycho dying early in the round. He is their normal bomb planner. He's the one that knows how to get the bomb down where it needs to be. And when Psycho's not there, the rest of the team didn't know what to do, so the controller had to pick up the bomb and make a decision there.
Really just a sloppy mistake by Marshall that round.
Was not good. Probably Soja should have planted the bomb there on Sova and let
Marshall
Blurred play around.
has to win this round, or their econ is not looking the best.
And then you're at 12-6 on a half buy. And that's not the position you want to be in. You want to be at 7-11 with a full buy and start breaking into that UVA economy.
And here comes the Sova drone. Definitely saw.
A has become UVA's stronghold. I'm surprised they didn't go back to that B site, Joel. They were giving them B site for free. You
I
just have to
know.
play the post plant.
Why all of a sudden are we
And
going
now
A?
it's a 5-man A. You have no mid control. You have no B main presence. They know you're going A. You have to do it fast. But Psycho gonna get the plant, but not before 2 Marshall players fall.
3v4, and Shoujo still, or not Shoujo, Explicit still up at the top. The res
the
comes
res.
through.
Oh, but the Sage gets 2, has no consequences from Marshall. And Sage gets a res. That's a 5-on-2 retake with no util hardly. Just a couple shock darts from Sova. This could be the round, but Explicit's giving it everything but the bomb.
Oh, but he can't
see
find the
planner.
second, and it's going to be
12
defused.
to 6.
Might as well just hold on to that gun there.
Shoujo
Shoujo.
falls and leaves a
Match
12-6 deficit for Marshall. They're going to have to use every bit of money they have and try to make something out of it. Joel, how do you possibly start a comeback? Because the game is not over. You have 4 rifles up right now. You're going to have a 5th with Shoujo. How do you start the comeback, Joel? A timeout from Marshall.
I assume that's exactly what they're about to talk about in this timeout. But you got to go back to what's working, and you got to go back to what you were doing before. On all the games you've won, what is one? There's a couple of consistent things, but a big player that is staying not really inconsistent is the word, but switching it up. You want to do what works, but you also want to do something unexpected. You need to do something crazy here because obviously they know what you're going to be doing. They're like, okay, let's be realistic. A site, they're getting bombed down, but it's not working for them. They're probably going to go back to B. So what do you do there if you're Marshall? You got to switch it up. Maybe throw 3 down mid. Something just off the wall. Something that they're not going to expect. I'm not saying go up tube. Maybe go around ramp or something. They haven't done that. Well, they did it once with Blurred, and it worked out phenomenally, and that was with one player. You send 3 down there, you might catch them off guard. Then you could do whatever you want. You can go A site from the back, or you can go for B site. Like, it just frees up so much.
I just want to see Marshall, as you said, pull something out of the strategy. Maybe create something new right now. Throw the book aside. The book on T side has not worked. It didn't work last week on this map. It definitely is not working today. Right now, you throw something together that they are not ready for. And right now, they're just 5-manning
Yep,
B.
and then here comes the Viper ult B side because
now-
they're expecting it, but they know she's Cubby. Shoujo, I figured he'd throw some shock darts in there, Cubby.
Absolutely not now. Marshall, the one stronghold they had on offense, has now been shut down by the enemy Viper.
Let's see if
Now
they
you
throw some
have to
people mid
make
here.
a play, but I think UVA is going to expect a little bit of mid presence. You forced them out of B main. They're going to have to come back to mid or A.
It looks like they're only going to send explicits up here. I don't like that. I don't like the tube play either.
This is, you know, there's going to be a chamber trip up here. You know, there's going to be one in kitchen.
Honestly, he's been placing the chamber trip in different spots, so it might not be up here.
I don't know. Now the team, you have 4 and A main explicits is alone in mid. He's going to have to cross too. But you're going to need that wall. You can't throw that orb up mid for him to cross because you need the wall to stay up
He's
as
going
long
to
as
TP
possible.
back over to A.
He does. You're going to have 5-manning. Once again, you're just 5-manning a site. And on A site, it has not worked
30
as well as you
seconds
would
left.
like it to.
They're going to mow down the wall here,
But you have 20
You
seconds,
gotta-
Joel. You have to commit Shoujo with the early pick. 5-on-4 advantage.
there could be someone hiding behind that wall.
Barrier
What
created.
is Marshall
Wall
looking
goes
to
up,
do?
planting for heaven.
This is the one you want. The plant goes down, and Marshall does not lose any agents.
Psycho needs to heal Shoujo.
He does, but he has not done it yet. This is the play. Explicit's playing for his life right now, but he doesn't need to. He just needs to go back, and he does.
Enemy spotted A.
Psycho.
Here.
Good
Shoujo
job,
needs to
huge
get this
here.
heal, but he's still not healed.
Blurred cannot die in this situation. It's a 4-on-3. UVA has to try
Neither
to
can
start
Psycho.
working towards
Psycho
bomb.
still hasn't healed Shoujo. What are they doing?
He needs to heal
They're
somebody.
just not
Blurred
thinking.
falls.
They're not thinking.
One enemy
They need to
remaining.
take the moment. The bomb. No one's on the bomb. They need to swing together,
Last player
and they do.
standing.
Shoujo pulls it out with a 3-piece with 30 HP. Psycho with the biggest brain on the team. Why are you not healing Shoujo?
You
He's
have to
right
heal him.
above you.
You had the heal. All you have to, and then Blurred was injured. But you had 2 teammates below 30 HP, and neither of them get that heal.
That almost cost him the game.
And Blurred,
Light shields and vandals for everybody.
your most important player in that retake, dies because he gets wall banged. That's a round that should not have came down to a 1v1, but they do clean it up with a double peek onto that chamber. 7-12. Marshall trying to scratch and claw back into this game.
Looks like they're going to go A main again and try something. No one's going to get tagged by that mid dart, though, so they know they're either going B main or A main, and they're already making noise A.
Explicit does clear that nest. Make sure there's no one lurking.
And they just, here comes the KO ult.
And they're going in. They clear Fridge. Encrypt flying up Maze. And they're going to try to get the plant.
Vipers
No
got
one's-
bombed. They don't
Oh
realize
my,
it.
they pulled a shroud.
I have them.
The controller has the bomb. They didn't realize it, and that takes crucial. This game has been coming down to seconds. Mere seconds have won and
And
lost.
Blurred makes up for it by killing one that's flank. Here we go,
5v4.
boys. 5v4, 7-12, game point.
Encrypt just hiding behind 410. No dart shooters able to get it.
Only
Explicit.
Psycho, I think, is going to be tagged there, though.
Psycho playing close bomb. They might not be ready for this if they swing Maze before the
The
wall
pop
falls.
flash doesn't go through, though.
Explicit's
going huge.
gets two.
Psycho gets the other one, and Explicit goes with the three-piece.
What
oh my
a big
goodness,
round.
8-12.
Marshall refuses to allow UVA to move on in this tournament without forcing their hand. Marshall wants this match. You see it. We're not in the same room, but I feel the energy.
Marshall said, we're not done yet.
I feel it, Joel. Do you feel these
I
guys?
feel the energy. I feel the momentum shifting. I think a timeout's going to have to come through UVA if they lose the next one.
It wouldn't surprise me if they call one now, but it looks like they're not going to.
If they lose this one, though, their economy's also in the toilet on the side of UVA.
These five-man pushes that we talked about aren't working now, though. We were a little skeptical early, but they have been working. Dart Shooter gets in before the recon can survey.
And now, instead of going A again that's been working, they're going to try B again, which has been their strong suit, so maybe it'll work out for them.
I mean, 2 rounds in a row on that A side.
Five stack again on B.
UVA has to be wondering, how can they stop these pushes? Marshall consistently and Psycho early
With a
pick.
trade with Encrypt, it's 4v3. This is looking good.
That should be the site early.
But they don't have any wall here to put down for bomb plant because Psycho
goes
went down.
But it looks like it's not going to matter. The plant's going to go down. A Viper ult comes in from Blurred.
Not holding back any punches from Marshall trying to get this win. They cannot lose this round.
This is the game. You have to play like it's your last round, and in this case
And
it
they know
is.
where all three of them are with that KO knife.
No flank. You have 4 people that can focus on site. Blurred, ready to swing off contact. He wants to swing right now.
One molly left.
He needs to save it for the moment. You know exactly where Explicit is, but there's 3 in between them, and Explicit's
And the
Molly
molly's going
goes
to come
down.
in.
What a big play. Blurred, able to just buy time. Shoujo lurking
And they've
around.
only got a few seconds left. They're going to have to save their guns. That's exactly what the side of Virginia is going to do.
What a big play from Marshall, staying in the game.
9-12. They said we're not out of it yet. 3 rounds off from overtime, Lucas. I am pumped up right
Absolutely.
now.
I've never been this excited today. It's been a great day so far. This Red Bull keeping me energized.
Oh, my goodness. Take a little sip here for that.
However, keeping 3 up for UVA does not mean this is a free round. They are going to have a near full buy. A smart play for UVA, playing the long game, saying we don't need to force into 4 in a
We have
Viper
rounds
ult.
to give. We have rounds to give. That's what they're thinking for
So
sure.
Marshall cannot get in their own heads. That was not a free round. That took a Viper ult to get that round in the back. You will not
want
have
to
another
play?
one,
Let's
most likely
play.
for the remainder of this game. Now you have to play back to the strategy.
And they just used the KO ult as well, so the probably closest ones they have
Oh,
are
a
Explicit
Psycho
with an op.
once again falls early. How does your Sage fall so early in the round?
Just not playing smart. You know, you always got to expect that Chamber's going to be sitting up there, or somebody's going to be sitting up there watching that cross, and now they're going to go fast B here to try and catch them off guard, but I guarantee you someone's going to be sitting here. They're going to expect this rotate, especially off the op pick.
I think this Viper could be playing up close with a shotgun or something. You have to be ready for it on a non-full buy. You have to be
Well,
ready
looks
for
like
that
they're going to
swing.
get it, but once again,
one cleared.
no Sage wall.
They're planning a little out.
Explicit's going to play close here. Oh, this is a risky
no.
play, but it's going to
Shoujo
be tagged by the
falls.
dart because no one shot it.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
and he saw Sova up there.
Explicit gets that tap on the
Huge find
Sova.
by Explicit, but now they know he's stuck Snowman.
He fights, cannot get the pick. No one can trade him. It's a 2v4 Blurred and
One
Encrypt. It's just
1v4, Encrypt has
Encrypt.
to go huge.
And
it's-
Encrypt falls. What a round, but Marshall just not able to pull it off. The comeback started, and it finally gets stunted by
Defenders win.
UVA's defense. Marshall falls 13-9, Joel.
What a game, Lucas. What a game. And it's, once again, you let them get too far ahead of you. If you had played just a little bit better, if you had fixed the things a little bit sooner, patched the holes just that much closer, you were only 3 rounds off from forcing it to overtime there.
And you have so many rounds that came down to 1v1s, 1v2s, even 2v1s in your favor, and you won some of them, but you did not win a lot of them, and that was the difference maker. 2 rounds makes it an 11-11 game.
Yep.
If you just win those clutches, you cannot win them all, but that's how close this game was in reality. 13-9, it seems like there's a difference, but one headshot could turn the entire tide of the game. Explicits was going huge for the entirety of this game. If he was able to just pull one more, or if the team could just get a little bit more cohesive in the clutch moments in those post-plant situations, this is an entirely new game. This was not Marshall at their worst. This was UVA playing just a little bit better.
Yeah. And for all we know, UVA could go on to win this whole thing. We could have just played the best team in the tournament. I mean, honestly, it's very possible because, I mean, we don't know too much about them, but we know that they played good. And once again, it was that Jet making the difference maker. They take the Jet down, and I'm watching the replay here on Twitch, and it's just sloppy errors again. That Psycho just wide swinging there without thinking, he's probably not going to be opping up there. And it's the one round that Chamber is opping up there to get an early pick, and that shuts down so much. Psycho, a huge player on Marshall's team. It's just tough to watch because you know how good this team is. You know this team could have went far in this tournament, but they're just done for today, and that's all that there is to say about it.
The last 2 rounds, you're talking about Psycho. Psycho was the first death in the last 2 rounds of the game, and they had to plant on that B site without the wall, and even getting the bomb down, the enemy team can just flood into sight knowing they don't even have to break the wall. Psycho going down is massive in these rounds. We talked about Viper a lot and a little bit about Sage, but that Sage wall may be the single most important piece of utility, especially on that offensive side. Because a Viper wall, you can just walk straight through.
Yep.
But that Sage wall, you have to break. You have to go around. You have to play around it actively.
And the way that they were also playing that Sage wall is they're cutting off from mid-site. So they have to wrap around either backside or snowman. There's no other way through it unless they destroy the wall. And if they do that, they know where they are. And, man, like you said, it was very close. We lose by 3 rounds, force it to overtime. I remember 2 rounds specifically that it was Explicits who had those 1v1s, and they just came up short on both of them, which, I mean, no disrespect to Explicits. The dude still had to – it was still a 1v3, 1v4, and he still was dropping.
He was able to take it down to that 1v1 situation, but you cannot rely on one player to consistently clutch 1v2s, 1v3s, 1v4s in a post-plant scenario. No player in the Valorant scene can consistently do that, and he was able.
Well, besides maybe Derek on 100 Thieves, that guy's kind of nuts.
Well,
but in the college scene.
But there's just no player that is able to do that. You're asking a player to just make miraculous plays over and over again, and he's just not able to do it every single time. And that's what it came down to. If Explicits is able to win 1 or 2 of those, this map flips. Marshall wins this game.
And I think Marshall definitely needs to keep their head high on this one. There was some things to fix. There was some things to learn, but this is not at all like we got slaughtered out there. This was not a good game. They fixed things on the fly. They took timeouts when they needed to. They just lost a few 1v1 rounds that would have been huge. But that's where they got to keep their head high. You were 3 rounds off from forcing this game into OT. You don't want to you can't lose that confidence. It was a very good game by UVA and a very good game by Marshall.
And I want to see Marshall because last week, everyone was firing on all cylinders. Today, though, it seemed like Marshall players individually, as a team, they were playing well today. I really think there was a boost in team play today, but you still have to hit those shots. And it seemed like at certain moments, Explicits in this round would drop 4. Encrypt in those early rounds of Icebox on both sides, able to get up frags, but then once Encrypt would cool down a little bit and Explicits would heat up, nobody could get hot everyone had their moments. They blurred a couple huge rounds of 3 to 4Ks, but then the next few rounds he had little to no impact. The team could not get on the same page. They were in the same book. You're in the same strategy, but just every round it seemed like it was one player that was able to fully contribute, and it was not just Explicits. Let's give credit to the whole team playing very well today.
Yep.
but just as a cohesive unit, they could not get on that same page to perform at the same moment they needed to. It was one player that was hot at a time when at any given moment you need multiple players that are actively on hitting shots and winning rounds for your team. And that's just something, and sometimes that happens. Consistency is very difficult in esports. And just maybe it wasn't their day. It was not their map. The first map, it seemed like everybody was firing, but that second map, I just needed to see the team
Little bit of a
consistent.
sputter start on that first map, where usually we see Marshall the first few rounds they're popping off usually, but this map just was not it. But think about it this way: this Marshall team is way better than they've ever been. I think this is the best they've played today compared to anything else. You could say, well, they won 4 games last tournament. Yeah, but they played even better this tournament. I think UVA was just a really good team, and I think this isn't over. They still have a few more weeks before Columbus is closed. So their ticket to Columbus is still out there. It's still within grasp. And you got to think, with this tournament and the next tournament, they're going to be taking the next 2 top teams again for qualifiers. So it's not like the tournaments are going to be just as hard. They're actually going to get easier for Marshall. And if they keep up this same consistent play, this same really mesh well play, they can easily book their ticket to Columbus by the time door closes.
And you could tell today the team was confident. You have explicits taking very confident duels. You have every single player playing extremely confident. The team issues that I saw last week, I definitely saw the gel coming together more this week as a team. This week it came down to just individual play not being coherent as a team, but that is something that's not going to happen every game. And it does suck that this is a single elimination tournament, because I think in a best-of-3 series, this goes map 3, and Marshall may be able to take UVA, but it's just one map. It wasn't even a bad map. It's 13-9.
Bad start.
It's a bad start that Marshall just was not able to fully come back from, but you did see the team was able to dig in those trenches. They were able to fight back, but when you're down 12-6, it's difficult to win 6 straight rounds against a team that has proven to be very difficult on both sides of the Valorant game.
Well, just like the rounds in the game that came down to seconds, it seems that it came down to minor mistakes for Marshall. It wasn't anything like they weren't getting exposed or anything. Like Psycho had the play still. He went across A main to Nest. They didn't know it. He let them all pass, get on site, and they go to plant and he just misses. And that's not something Psycho usually does. It's just bad luck on the part of Marshall.
I would put my money 9 times out of 10 he hits those shots, but that just happened to be the 1 out of 10. And there were multiple moments where if they could replay that 50 times, the same outcome does not happen 49 of those. It just happened to be the one where the sprays don't connect. The little bit of unreliability of the sprays in Valorant were the difference maker for some of those plays.
By the time they fixed them, it was just too late.
It was.
By the time they fixed it and they started making that comeback, they started mounting, they started patching the holes, they figured out what they were doing wrong. This ain't working, this is working. We're doing this wrong, we're doing that right. By the time they figured out, by the time that last timeout was called, the hole was just a little bit too deep.
The trenches were too deep to get their heels in and still be able to fight back. Such a valiant effort from the Marshall guys that gave it their all, and they're going to come back next week, Joel. And I have full faith they're going to bring this same energy.
That's right, baby. That's right.
And they're going to be even more prepared next week. They're going to continue working on these maps. They're going to come back and look at what they messed up on Icebox on. They're going to keep working on Breeze. They're going to keep expanding that repertoire of maps. They are going to, every week, they're going to be stronger. They're going to be more confident.
Get them.
They are going to be a team that's not ready to not be in that top 50, Joel. When those rankings come out next week, I want Marshall in that top 50 because they didn't play bad today. Last week, they were a top 4 team in this tournament. This week, they are still a team to be taken seriously.
That's right. Oh, my gosh. You got me hype over here. I'm ready for next week. We're going to be back here next week in the booth, hopefully, and we're going to be ready to play. Marshall goes down against UVA. What was the final score? 13-9.
Major respect to UVA, though. Played a great game. Seconds. That if there's a tagline of this game, it is looking at the seconds. Every round comes down, especially on UVA's T side. Seconds. There were multiple rounds. If you get that planner stalled, the round's over. Seconds.
Seconds. Minor mistakes. That'll all be patched up hopefully by next week. They're going to be playing Their mid-game week, they're going to be doing some scrims, and this was a lot of learning from UVA. Not really seeing a team. I've played a lot of comp. I've never seen a team wait till the last 30 seconds, the whole half to plant.
It's something new.
Now they know. Yeah, it's something new, something different. They got it under the belt, and hopefully they'll be ready next week. Lucas, you want to close us out for this stream?
You know, for all the viewers at home, I have the chat pulled up here. Such an explosive crowd in the Twitch chat. I loved seeing it all through the day. I hope you had it pulled up as well,
yeah,
Joel.
I loved it. I loved it. The psycho lovers and the blurred haters, and I saw some love for you in there for a couple people.
You know, I love to see it. I hope we brought the energy today behind an explosive team of this Marshall Valorant team. Thank you once again to Red Bull for sponsoring this tournament, putting on a great tournament to showcase the best collegiate Valorant teams, not just Marshall, but the teams that qualified last week in WVU and Maryland, the teams that are going to qualify this week, hopefully UVA, because you never want to lose to a team that didn't make it all the way.
Yeah, you definitely want to – it feels definitely better to a team that goes and wins it all than losing to a team that gets swept next round or something.
So best of luck to the UVA team as they close out this tournament. But Marshall, we're not done yet, so stay with us. Tune in next week as Marshall once again tries to solidify their spot
in
to Columbus for the Red Bull Campus Clutch Tournament. I've been Nichols. This is Joel Boy. Take it easy and see us back here next Saturday. Bring the same energy.
That's right. Let's see them hurt-ons in chat, baby. Good night. See y'all later.
We are the early risers, the go-getters, the all-nighters, innovators, the pioneers of the future, leaders uniting all to work together, creators, the artists that inspire, champions, we never stand down from the challenge, family, with a bond that will last a lifetime. We are